teams and select players from each team as well. And it's brought to you today by Summit Athletic Club, Johnson Pediatric Dentistry, our friends at Camping World St. George, and Holbrook Asphalt. And our first team has already made their way down from Candy View High School, and Coach Potter is in attendance, and he's got Mason Lyman, Trevor Farrow, Dallin Brindley, and also Parker Holmes representing the Falcons. And Coach, like we always do, good to see you again. Thanks for being here, and we'll turn the time over to you to kind of talk about coming off the momentum of last season, the off season, all the camps you guys went to, and your expectations for this year's team.
Okay, thanks for having us back. Can't believe it's here already, but yeah, we obviously we had a nice little run last year, being back in Region 9, able to kind of squeak out the number 4 spot and lose at Skyview. But we felt like we had a decent season, and then of course losing Branson, all-time leading scorer at Candy View, and Joey Lambeth and those other seniors. We've got some shoes to fill, but I probably haven't had a top to bottom more committed group in the off season than these guys we bring back this year, and so we're excited about them kind of creating their own thing and doing their own thing, and not necessarily being the next Branson or the next Joey Lambeth, whatever, but just being the best them they can be, and looking forward to see what they can do.
I'm curious what your off season was like. I mean, a lot of coaches go really crazy, go to every camp there is available. Were you guys kind of camp crazy this off season?
Well, we do a lot, and it kind of depends on the kids. Mason's just like, Coach, you signed up for everything, right? So they kind of push me, and we have a senior group that was very committed, and a bunch of juniors that want to do a lot of stuff. So we probably played as much last year as we have. We did some stuff early in the spring, and then we did a lot in June, and one thing in Vegas in July, and then took August off, and they're back lifting weights and running and stuff in September and October. So it's been a busy off season.
Kind of seems, Coach, over the last several years that obviously you guys are getting to a lot more tournaments too in your preseason. I mean, you've got 3 or 4 I see lined up here. What is it about? I mean, obviously you want to play as many different teams. Is that the basic reason, looking at all these different tournaments?
Yeah, I just think it's kind of the nature of where high school basketball is going. You're going to play a region season, you're going to play tournaments. A lot of people want to raise money, and whether it's personally or for like a cause like we do, or for the tournaments. And then, we do the North-South Challenge because it was a way to group a bunch of teams together from the 2 ends of the town or the state and see each other. But we usually go to Vegas for a big one to see other teams. And this year we got invited back to Richfield, so we're going to go to that one to the preview. But we really like the Vegas trip. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm back there next year. But this year I thought I'd give the parents a break and play a little closer to home. But yeah, it's just a good way to see a lot of people kind of get out of town as a team and kind of come together and bond a little bit and have some fun early in the preseason.
Yeah.
How were tryouts this year for Candy View High School?
It's kind of interesting. I don't know. I'd have to ask the other coaches what it's like, but we don't really have much of a tryout. Kids seem to kind of cut themselves. They determine if they're going to be the star or one of the starters on their own, and they kind of drop off through the years. We've, unfortunately, between this junior and senior class, we had a lot of kids move, and we're going to have a starter at Copper Hills this year, one at Valley, a kid playing at Parowan, a couple kids playing at Parowan. We're going to have one at Juab. They've just moved, and for good reasons, but that's just the way things have gone. And so we actually in the varsity JV junior senior group, we only cut 1 kid, and so the freshmen, obviously we make a lot of cuts at that level, a few less at the sophomore level, but for the junior seniors, and seems to kind of whittle themselves out over the off season through preseason.
You had your boy on the team last year, and I know that was emotional to have him as your senior, and last year coaching him, and then you had a couple of other great seniors too, in Joey and Branson. But how do you get these young guys to understand what those guys already knew, what it takes to compete and to succeed at this high level?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. And Trevor and Parker both started last year. I think these other guys both started maybe at least 1 game. At different times we were trying to figure these out in the preseason. But, you hope they rub off on them through practice and through summers and stuff like that. And these guys have spent a lot of time around those group of seniors that left last year. And so, but, it's all good in theory till you step out there and do it. So tomorrow when we open with Cottonwood, we'll probably have some big guys here and there, a little heavy breathing and stuff, but we'll get through that, and I think they'll settle in and appreciate the competitive nature of what it takes. And the time spent, that was a big thing with those guys that graduated last year. They spent a lot of time in the gym, and these guys have already emulated that in their time spent and working on their game in the off season.
You mentioned that Cottonwood game. That's kind of an early sneak-in game, and it's against you would not call a natural rival. So
Yeah.
you got to tell us how that game came about.
Actually, I got to give all the credit to Coach Beck at Cedar. He worked it out. I don't know if he has an in there or what, but they contacted him somehow and wanted to come down and do a twofer. They're actually at SU tonight, I think, practicing at the P building or something. So they came down tonight, and then they'll play us tomorrow, and then Cedar on Wednesday. I'm glad we got the Tuesday one so that our kids can travel on Wednesday to go to Holiday if they want to. But yeah, I mean, to get a 5A school from Salt Lake to come down and play us at our place during the season, we were all over that, and we'll probably return the trip for them next year. But
I think the only thing you have in common is you both start with a C. That's
Yeah.
about it. And you're in Utah.
yeah, yeah. Some of our kids know some of their kids from
Okay.
travel ball and stuff. But yeah, it'll be a good, great test tomorrow this early to see if we've figured things out yet or not.
I know it's early and it's kind of a tough question maybe to ask, but Region 9 this year, there's a lot of changes, obviously, even in the kids. I mean, a lot of changeover. Have you looked at the conference? Do you anticipate anything, or you just say, well, lace them up, boys, and go play some basketball?
I told these guys on the way down, I'm really curious to see how some of the coaches vote and some of the things some of the other coaches say, because having been, I knew my son's age, so last year we knew those kids, but having been gone from Region 9 for those couple years, I don't know a lot of the younger kids. And I know the coaches fairly well, but obviously, got two new coaches, and probably who would have been the best player in the region, and Tanner Cuff leaving to go with his dad to American Fork stuff. There's a lot of stuff, unknowns out there, and so I'm really curious to see a lot of things. We will be at the preview in Richfield with everybody but Cedar next weekend after we get back from break, so we'll get to see some things there. But yeah, I think there's a lot of unknowns. Every year you think, oh man, they graduate a lot of kids, but then they just reload.
Yeah.
So, I think it'll still be really good, and I'm excited to see who kind of steps up and takes some of those leadership roles in the region.
Off and running, Canyon View with us, getting our Region 9 Media Day started. Coach, I'll let you have the honor today. Why don't you introduce the guys and tell us a little bit about their game and why you invited them to come represent the Falcons?
Okay, well, first of all, these guys are either our captains or returning starters, and that's kind of how we narrowed it down. You can't bring everybody, so you wanted to, but these guys represent our program really well. So we have Mason Lyman, he's a senior guard, played decent minutes for us last year, started a couple games, really works hard, gym rat type kid, and really going to be one of our leaders for us this year. Next in we have, to make sure, get him right here, Trevor Farrell. He's got a junior. He started almost every game for us last year and just done some nice things for us in our program. And Dallin Brindley, I swear he's only 17 or 18, even though he's got the beard going. He's a senior. He's the tallest player in our program at 6'4". We're not very tall, but he plays the wing for us and kind of small forward type position, does nice things for us. One of our captains. And Parker Holmes, refer to him as Jiggy. He's down there in the end. He's a returning starter from last year, was honorable mention all region last year, and does a lot of nice things for us. One of our most kind of versatile players. And so, yeah, I mean, I thought these guys were deserving of it. So
Let's meet the players. Jiggy, how'd you get that nickname? Let's start there.
Joey.
Oh,
Last year.
gotcha.
Joey Lambert gave it to me. Yeah.
Was there a story behind
Yeah,
it?
what does it mean? We want to know.
I don't know. He just
Are
gave
you
it.
getting jiggy with it? You getting jiggy with
Was he
it?
dancing between
Yeah.
free throws?
Every time? I don't even know who that is. Huh?
I don't know how to.
Mason, now that you had some talent, obviously, Coach pointed out you lost guys like Branson and Joey and more, but how have you guys taken on a leadership role so far through fall camp?
I think, we all talked about it on the bus ride home from Skyview when we lost last year, and we just knew, we're like, listen, we're gonna have to work really hard because we knew there's a lot of things we had to do. So that was just it, just build a culture of really, really hard work. So I think that's what we've been trying to do. And there's been some juniors that I don't think were in that many varsity practices last year. So it's just about keeping that positive energy up, keep working really hard. And I think that spreads, so that's what we've been trying to do as leaders.
Trevor, just curious, you probably had a lot of design sets to get Branson the ball and Joey was distributed. How has coaching and the scheme or the plays changed so far this year, or is it all the same?
I mean, it's definitely changed, but everyone can score on this team. We'll take whatever we can get, and we're gonna do what we do. So,
Dallin, have you had a chance to look at the other bigger guys around the region and figure out who your tough matchups? I mean, obviously Joey Robertson of Socan's one of those guys you worry about, but any other big guys that you're familiar with around Region 9?
Well, I think the region's full of some pretty big guys. You mentioned Joey. There's Dallin Grant at Cedar. I think everywhere you're going to go, there's going to be some big guys, and I think we have a pretty good center, Kyle back home, and we do a very good job matching up with him. We're not necessarily the biggest, but we have a little saying heart over height, and we just play with heart.
Heart over height. I like that. I wanted to ask Trevor too. I hate to say it, but Canyon View kind of lives and dies by the 3-point shot. I think more than anybody else in the region. And you're one of those guys that can stroke from out there. How important is the 3-point shot going to be for the Falcons in 18-19? Coach is looking at you like, what's he gonna say? What's he gonna say?
I don't know. I think everybody can score from anywhere. So I mean, Kyle can shoot threes now. So
Never reveal the secret.
I'm just saying. I don't know. The 3-point shot has definitely been something we've lived off of, but we can do a lot of things with our mid-range and that stuff. So, I mean, we're still gonna just play. It's just how we play. So I don't know.
What about defense, guys? Maybe Parker can start with that, not what kind of defense, but what do you feel your strengths maybe defensively as your team?
Definitely for defense, one of the things I think helps most is communication. Because if we're all talking, we all know who we got, where to go, what's in there, like what we need to do on defense, if someone needs help, all that. So I
Now, you
think
feel like defense, speed, you got pretty good overall speed. I mean, obviously in offense that helps, but defense too.
Speed, you just mean like our guys are quick?
Yeah, just each
Yeah, for
individual.
sure. I think our defense is built around that, actually. We got some quick guys.
Cool.
Mason, how up-tempo does Coach Potter want you guys to play, especially some of these non-region games early in the year? And obviously, how's the condition? You guys feel like you're ready for tomorrow in the opener?
I think so. We run for the most part. That's how we're doing. He called it weights and strength training, but we knew it was really just running. So. But because especially even we're a smaller team, and even from last year we're a little bit smaller. So with that, we're gonna have to try to get some defense to give us easy buckets on offense. So I think we'll play with the pace a little bit.
Coach Potter, I'm guessing that you have to coach a little differently this year than last. I mean, you had those 3 guys that were with you for, I think didn't you coach them Little League and stuff all the way up through? And
I was part of it since sixth grade. Yeah, when I came back and took over the program, they were 6th graders.
So they already knew what you wanted, and they've known for 6 years. What about these guys now?
One of the benefits I have is a great coaching staff, and they've been with me for a long time. And Coach Jensen, one of our assistants, his son was this age, was able to play because of some injuries, and so he dropped off in high school. But he's had these guys since they were 6th grade, and so the style of play generally is the same, but you can't just say, okay, Branson, go get us a basket, or some of those things. So it's just kind of a transition of learning to play together and getting a feel for each other. It seemed like Toby, Joey Branson always made the right cut, always kind of made the right pass, those kind of things. So we're working on that. And even just in the last 2 weeks, I've seen huge improvements with these guys on getting a feel for, if I drive, where's Dallin going to set up for the 3, or where's G going to be, and those kind of things. So they're getting a lot better at it already. But our general style of play doesn't change a lot. It just is kind of, we won't be as heavy, maybe 1 or 2 people this year. We won't be more well-balanced. I think it's kind of like Trevor mentioned earlier, we have a lot of guys that can score in a lot of different ways.
We're almost out of time, but I did want to, can you give us an update on those 3 guys and what they're doing right now?
So Branson's playing at Snow. He's having a really good season. Had a couple really nice games just recently. Pretty sure they're still undefeated. And he had about a 23-point game last week.
Wow.
5 of 5 from 3. And
Good transition.
almost perfect. And then Joe's going to school at SUU, and my son is just trying to drive his dad crazy. No, he's just working and working at my pizza shop for me there, and doing some other things. And so, they moved on, and Tyson, my nephew, he's also working for me, hanging out there, and just kind of trying to figure out what to do with his life. And Brandon Burke's at Arizona State, where we probably all wish we were right now, enjoying the weather and the nice games. But anyhow, they're all doing really good, and that's what's most important to us, is that they go on and are successful, functioning adults, and set goals and go achieve and stuff. So I'm proud of those guys and where they're at right now.
Good stuff from Coach Potter, Canyon View, and guys, best of luck this season. Thanks for being here. Watch for them in these preseason tournaments. They'll be in Ridgefield. There's the North-South tournament, and then, of course, they'll be playing in that Hodson Cancer Classic again this year. They do slip in that one Region 9 game on the 19th of December. It'll be the Snow Canyon Warriors. And again, the season opens tomorrow with Cottonwood. So good luck, Coach, and thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, Dixie Flyers will join us next as our 2018 Region 9 Basketball Media Day is underway.
There we are. Hi, I'm Eric Young.
And I'm Jennifer Kohler.
And this is, we're coming to you right before our show that we go live with Talking Point Live. And we just wanted to tell you to make sure you join us Wednesdays at 9:30, live coming to you from the studios of the CEC here on the campus of Dixie State University.
Yeah, and you can catch the rebroadcast at 9:30 when we're not live, and 12:30 and 4:30. Daily, weekly.
Daily? This is like way too much,
Yeah.
I think. But just in case you got something better to do,
Yeah.
there's all those times you can catch it as well. Also, you can catch us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/TalkingPointLive and on the CEC YouTube channel. All right, see you there.
We're basically very catchable.
Well, you are.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
Where do you find the titans of classical music in St. George? Classical music on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM. Where do you find the legends of jazz? St. George, 100.3 FM.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
There is a place where rocks bleed and nature blushes on a battlefield green with envy, where dimples determine destiny and a tiny wooden T holds the outcome in the balance. There is a place where friends are opponents and opponents are friends, where the prize is elusive, the conquest is captivating, and the score isn't settled till the drinks are down. There is a place.
Radio Dixie 91.3. We don't play that. Nope, not that. A big fat no there. That's what we play. And stuff like that. On St. George's only alternative, Radio Dixie 91.3. And from 9 till midnight, we play this. I need a one dance. And this. Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
Lunchtime, I'm starving. Yeah, me too. Hey, Carrick, have you heard about the most exciting new thing on campus this semester? Oh, you must be talking about the new grandstand addition on the east side of Trailblazer Stadium. No, man, that's actually not what I'm talking about. The new Human Performance Center they're building on campus. Well, that's a good guess, Carrick, but nope, wrong again. Oh, I know. You mean that this is the first season for Dixie State as a full member in the RMAC?
All those things are really exciting, Carrick, but the most exciting new thing on campus is the new Trailblazer Weekly show every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on CEC TV, the Dixie State Athletics YouTube page, and on Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
You're right. That is more exciting. Trailblazer Weekly, every Wednesday at 3 p.m. beginning on August 29th on CEC TV, Dixie State Athletics YouTube page, and Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
Welcome back, CEC TV studios, also live on 97.7 ESPN and streaming on our website. So if you're out and about in the car right now, you can jump online, sportsradio977.com, and watch. Still a long way to go. Just getting going. Just heard from Canyon View. The Dixie Flyers now join us, and I'm joined by head coach Tyler Roberts, and we've got 4 guys representing the Flyers: Hayden Cottle, Nick Rowney, Derek Wallace, and Jordan Matthews. And then, of course, Mike McGarry, Andy Griffin here on the panel. And Tyler Roberts, now first-year head coach, taking over for Coach Cuff. And a lot of excitement for you and a lot of excitement for the program. And I want to go back to the hiring. It seemed like they moved pretty quick, and you were the guy. And I want to get your take on kind of being your first year. And you've been here such a long time as an assistant. It's got to feel good to now lead this program.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it was a quick decision. They opened it up just for about a week. I think they said they had right around 30 applicants, so it actually filled up fast. But they kind of just moved forward and wanted to kind of keep things going in the way we were going, and they just made a decision to go with me. I was happy with that, obviously not being a school teacher, so I was very thankful for them giving me the opportunity to be the head coach and to continue, what we built here the last 10 years. So,
you obviously an assistant for a long time for Coach Cuff, but what's going to change? What's going to be the stand? What are we going to recognize that's a little bit different now that Tyler Roberts is a head coach?
Some things will stay the same, but as the guys know, defense is one of them. Whether it's full court, we'll get after it defensively. We will run even a little bit more. We got some really good guys that can run the floor, score from about anywhere on the floor as well. So. Just get out and play hard, team together, obviously, having guys that buy into a system, you can get a lot done with that, and so far the guys have accomplished that.
Seems like a lot of coaches now looking at next man up, and I say that because obviously Dixie lost a lot of seniors last year, new coach, new kids. How do you feel about that?
I feel great. Actually, right. Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, we graduate, obviously the 10 seniors we lost, and then really 11 because Tanner Cuff left too. So even though he's not a senior, he's a junior that we lost. So some call it rebuilding year. I don't take it as a rebuilding year. I say we're just moving forward. Credit to these guys. They felt the same way. They don't care, if that Tanner left or what the situation is. It's like, we're here and we're going to play and we're going to develop and we're going to just go after it as hard as we can.
Looking back at the summer league, I know you guys played a lot of games, maybe more than you ever have this year. How has that really poised you for the regular season? And then, of course, it's coming. You guys play a game right here, right around the corner.
Yeah, good question. Yeah, definitely. Knowing that we graduated that many seniors, also knowing that none of these guys really had any varsity experience. As a new head coach, especially, we wanted to hit the ground running. So. We scheduled, I met with these guys and I said, it's obviously my first year, it's your guys' year, what are we gonna do? And basically we said, let's go to work. And so we put together a very tough and long summer schedule, and obviously we still, we've been playing all the way up until, a couple weeks ago. So we, right before tryouts, before that moratorium time, and I think we were just talking about that on the way over, I think we ended up scheduling right around 12 tournaments. So we got a lot of games, probably a season and a half in a couple months. So,
as you look at the roster, I mean, let's be honest. Ryan Cuff took all his guys, his son. I mean, the only guy coming back, and left you. I wouldn't say the cupboard is bare, but guys with inexperience, guys with very little experience. So, how do you get these guys to understand what it takes to play at this high a level, being that they haven't been there yet?
Yeah, sure. The thing is, again, I think it goes back to right as soon as I got the job. Of course, I was excited. First year head coach, and it's like, what are we going to do? We want to win. That's the ultimate goal, right? Mm-hmm. And just going to work. These guys, they seriously just came to me and said, Coach, whatever it takes, we want to do it. So. not only tournaments, I think the big part of it, which people kind of miss on sometimes, is actually the skill development side. And, you know, with our little club stuff that we do in the off season, I think a lot of it comes down to the skill development that we put in, you know, the 2 months that we were really, really into the gym, working, fine-tuning kind of our skills, and then allowing them to go out and play and develop. You know, that's the biggest thing, is just working on that skill development.
Let's bring in the players here for just a second. Start with you, Hayden. I mean, last year you guys didn't lose a game in region. I think you lost, what, 4 games all year. How do you keep that momentum going, even though a lot of people don't know much about you and your teammates?
Well, we played against the varsity team every practice, just went hard against them, and so it was basically, we felt like we were playing the best team in 4A every practice. And so I feel like we're already ready and we can keep the momentum we had going. Like, we went 12-0 in JV last year, and so we can really just push forward and keep the momentum that we had last year and move forward.
Nick, what's it like playing at the Flyer Gymnasium there in the hangar? I mean, do you guys feel like you have a real strong home court advantage?
Yeah, I feel like we got a great tradition there of a home court. It just feels like a great place to play all the time. Everyone before you, I mean, players that came before you, helping you, teaching you, you know.
Got some new bleachers in there too. I could smell them when I went in the gym the other day.
That's right.
Really?
Yeah.
It's all wood now.
Yep.
It's kind of like our old gym, actually.
Wow, the old hangar.
Let me ask Derek a little bit about this. Obviously, you guys step up. You're the seniors now. You got a new coach. Do you prepare yourself or think any differently, or is it just, he's our coach, we're the players, let's go for it?
Pretty much, but there's still that change from Ryan to him that we got to get used to, but we're still just out there going to be playing basketball end of the day.
You feel there's a cohesiveness already starting to be found between you guys?
Oh, yeah. It's never been the same from like freshman, sophomore. I definitely feel like we're a tighter group this year than ever before.
Cool.
Bring in Jordan. Jordan, you're a junior, so you're one of the few guys. Who's pushing you in practice? Who are some of the other guys on your team that aren't here representing the Flyers that are going to maybe turn some heads this season? Some of your teammates?
Mainly the underclassmen. We've got some good sophomores that stroke the ball, and yeah.
Coach, how hard was cuts, and how many sophomores will you have on varsity?
Yeah, I mean, cuts are always hard. You know, the biggest thing with cuts is, I think it's the worst week for coaches, honestly. The last thing you want to do is cut a kid. So that's always tough. We had to bring in a couple kids that have been a part of the program, and, you know, they just weren't good enough this year, you know. We always want to try to keep them a part of the program.
Sure.
But yeah, cuts are always tough. This year we do have a very good sophomore class. They were obviously freshmen last year. Ethan Bennett, obviously Tyler's little brother, he's a sophomore, great player. Spent a lot of time on skill development in the off season. So he's up with us with the varsity, and so is Isaac Finlinson, another kid that just is gym rat, you know, spends a lot of time in the gym, loves to shoot the three, and just an all-around good player. So, you know, those are probably the 2 sophomores that are up with us right now and that will probably continue to obviously stay there. And then just building off a really good junior class as well.
Is there pressure now as a new head coach taking over for a highly successful Ryan Cuff? Do you feel pressure as a coach to succeed?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's pressure. Of course, I like pressure, you know, and pressure's, that's why we do it, right?
Yeah.
The competitive side, I'm extremely competitive, as these guys know, and as Coach Cuff knew. We kind of hit it off from day one, you know, those 10 years ago when we started. It was just, we met first time, didn't even know each other, and it was like, let's go, you know, you're the guy that I want. And so, you know, being around that and being around, obviously, Ryan, I learned a lot from him over those 10 years, and he was very open to let me coach, you know, let me do whatever I wanted, whether it was putting in set plays, you know, offensively, defensively, and, you know, just allowing, you know, me to be a coach as well. So I feel like, you know, obviously we're ready and excited for the opportunity right now.
Let me go back to something. Hayden, I wanted to ask you, what do you look at? What do you see as the strengths of this team so far? And I know you're going to learn a lot more about yourself in the coming weeks here, but right now, as you look forward, what's your strength?
I think one of the strengths we have is our defense and the zone defense. We're really good at the zone, and then also shooting the 3-ball. A lot of us can stroke it and just pass the ball through and get open shot.
Good. Nick, I want to ask you the same question. You feel pretty much like Hayden there?
Yeah, I mean, we can stroke the 3-ball, but most of all, I think we're a family. We're a really tight-knit group. You know, we all love each other. We all play really well together. I mean, I feel like we can push the ball really well on the break, too. Better than most teams can, you know, get out and run.
You know, normally you guys would have a big bullseye on your back after last season, all the success you had, but there's a lot of people, Derek, maybe don't know a lot about. Yeah, I'm sure some of the coaches and other players in the region probably saw you a little bit this summer, maybe some of the tournaments, but what is your role going to be on the team, and what do you feel like your biggest attributes and strengths are?
My biggest role is going to be defense and talking to guys, making sure they're in the spots they need to be, and passing the ball, making an extra pass to open shooter. Really just defense mainly.
I got to ask, who can throw down on your team? And I mean, who gets up there? Who can fly? If it's a dunk contest, who wins?
We all like to think we can, but I think Noah Lemke might be the only one. Can really.
Noah throws down pretty good.
Yeah. Does he?
Yeah.
All right.
Coach, I just wanted to say real quickly here, the first thing you said was you're keying in on defense. Sounds like they're buying what you're selling, because almost to a man they said, yeah, we feel defense is going to be a strength. That's got to feel good.
Yeah, it does. I mean, we knew that. You know, Region 9 is so competitive.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter which night you play, which team. You know that you have to be ready. Because my opinion is target on your back, that's everybody. You know, great coaches all through Region 9, great players, they all know each other. And, you know, I think that's what's tough, is you always just have to be prepared. You can't sleep on any team. And, you know, every night you got to be ready.
And you guys don't play your first game till, I think, November 30th. So some people are trying to sneak a game in this week if they can. Is that good with this group to have a little bit more time to gel?
Yeah, obviously, just because football just had an amazing season, you know, making it to the championship game there. Monkers does a great job, obviously, with the football program. And, you know, today, actually, right after this, we have tryouts for those football kids. So it is good for us when football goes deep into the playoffs to be able to have a little more time than other teams that have had their team really the whole time. So we'll have some tryouts today and tomorrow for those football kids, and then we'll get back after it, you know, get them dialed in also.
You're probably not allowed to say too much at this point, but is there a football guy or two you're going, yeah, I hope this guy wants to play?
Yeah, I mean, these guys know too. I mean, he was around all summer. Travis Muir is one of them, though, you know, he's a wide receiver for the football team. Travis is a great kid, works his tail off, and, you know, he's been a part of our program already. So I don't think that'll surprise anybody if he does make the team. He's definitely one of the kids that we're looking at for the varsity side.
Talk about the schedule in general, especially the non-region schedule. I mean, you guys got some fun tournaments. You're going to be, you know, going out there to Richfield, right? Yeah. You got the Ken Robinson, you got the Coach Walk, at least one game there, and then you guys go up to that Riverton Holiday Tournament. Yeah. So you got a lot of tournaments coming up.
Yeah, those tournaments are fun. They're definitely, it gives you an opportunity to see where you're at. Obviously we always try to schedule some pretty tough tournaments. Regardless of win or lose on those, we can just find out who we really are and get our identity and get things, you know, figured out that we're need to work on. But those tournaments are fun. Obviously, it's a great time too, especially those 4-day tournaments. That's fun. We go up to Riverton. It's a fun time, obviously, to have the players love it. You know, it's the day after Christmas, so I had to apologize to the parents on that one. But, you know, we go up there the 26th, 27th, 28th, and 29th. But it's a great bonding time for the guys as well, and us as coaches, you know, to be able to be around the guys for a longer period of time instead of just home and around, you know, practice time. So we look forward to those, and it's a lot of fun.
I don't know if you've set any goals yet, but your number one goal's got to be more wins than Ryan Cuff in American Fork, right?
Right.
That's the first one.
And when will we see Coach Cuff on the schedule? Not this year, but maybe down the road?
Yeah, not this year. I did tell him, we had a little conversation, and I said, I want to play you. And he said, okay, next year. And I said, okay. And then it was funny as he said, you got to come here. And I said, okay, but when we beat you, you got to come back down here. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
I don't know why you wouldn't want to come to Southern Utah in the wintertime anyway, right?
Right.
Tyler Roberts, head basketball coach, Hayden Cottle, Nick Roundy, Derek Wallace, Jordan Matthews joining us here for the Fly Boys. Again, undefeated last year. High hopes again this year for Region 9 Championship and beyond. Coach, thanks for bringing the kids in. Best of luck, and we'll see you out on the court.
Thanks you guys for having us.
Dixie Flyers session and time up, but we continue. When we come back, Desert Hills, Coach Turley will join us next after this timeout.
Hey guys, how are you today?
Good.
I'm here to talk about how with technology you can make amazing worlds. Come with me. My team and I bring the Halo world to life.
Is that you?
That is me. I wasn't a math genius, and I knew nothing about coding. But you guys do. You guys have the power to change things.
I want your job.
I want you to have my job.
Man, where's Carrick? The show's about to start.
Carrick Segmiller approaches his ball after a beautiful approach shot. This ball landed about 12, 13 feet away as he lines up the putt. He'll have this one for birdie.
Hey, have any of you guys seen Carrick?
I think he went that way.
Segmiller eyes his ball as he lines it up. Again, this putt for birdie will win the tournament. He steps to his ball. The putt's on its way. It's got the right speed. It's in! Carrick Segmiller for birdie to win the tournament as the crowd goes wild.
Woo!
He is celebrating. He is ecstatic.
Yeah! Carrick, we got showdown in like 5 minutes. Let's go.
Come on, man. I'm just playing some golf. Let's go.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
There is a place where the sun doesn't hide in the winter, where the greens stay green and the crimson canyons still glow. There is a place where dimples determine destiny, and a tiny wooden tee holds the outcome in the balance. There is a place where we drive for show, putt for dough, and settle the score with another round. There is a place.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
People like John McCain and other people would just sit there quietly on the sides, and that many Republican activists would refrain from registering their disapproval in the peanut gallery?
Some might argue that Republican activist is an oxymoron.
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of activism.
Right.
But
We
you
just
see
didn't
what
see
I'm
it.
saying? If you just flip it right over on its head.
I would like to flip it on its head, and in fact, I'm already doing that because my own position is free speech is free speech. Okay, and I'm kind of advocating for something that I'm really not supporting in this respect. As far as protesting or not protesting and being able to recognize your audience, what we need on either side, I don't care where you're coming from, is the ability to recognize the audience.
I'm Ferdinand. You look at me and think big. You think scary. But I'm a little misunderstood. Sorry, I almost killed you. Kids with learning and attention issues are misunderstood too. Take the time to understand. Learn more at understood.org.
Heard about the scarecrow who won an award? He was outstanding in his field.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be earthquake next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
And welcome back here on 97.7 ESPN. We're hanging out in the CEC TV studios here at Dixie State University. Gracious enough to host us again for our Region 9 Basketball Media Day. Already heard from Candy View, already heard from the Dixie Flyers, but we continue on now with the Desert Hills Thunder and Coach Wade Turley in the building and representing the Thunder. He's brought 4 guys to join us and answer some questions about the upcoming season. We've got Alex Sampson, Trevin Lindstrom, we've got Carson Thornton, and Spencer Jolly. And Coach, as we always do, first of all, we're excited to get going, as I'm sure you are, and kind of just take us through the last 10 months or so and tell us about how you build the momentum off last season, what you guys did in the off season, and even tell us a little bit about this year's team and maybe some of the new faces we'll see.
Awesome. Well, last year we had 7 seniors that contributed, so we lost quite a few kids with experience. So this summer was really important for our guys to have an opportunity to showcase what they can do and kind of mesh with some of the younger kids. So we had several tournaments we went to, some team camps, tried to get as many games as we could to try to get everybody working together. And so it's been a real important off season, but it's been pleasantly, we've been pretty surprised with the talent that we've had. There's a lot of youth, a lot of inexperience, but we have some talent. So the ceiling's high. It's just a matter of how quickly we can get there.
How important, there's a lot of talk about multi-sport stars and things like that, but how important is that you have these guys all summer long, that they're basketball guys for you all summer? How important is that?
It's important to have a portion of that on your team. I'm a firm believer if a kid can play 2 sports in high school, let's do it. Because you only have a high school experience one time in your life. So, but I know there's some kids that just breathe and die basketball, and so they're going to put their time in the gym, and we love that, as well. You got to have those guys as well. So I like a little bit of a mix. But these guys are hardworking, pretty tough kids that love basketball, and so they put a lot of time in the gym and the weight room. In fact, we just had practice this morning and just got out of the weight room here about a half hour ago. So I like this team. I like how they work. We haven't had a bad practice yet. As long as they continue to bring that effort and desire to get better, I think we should be a very competitive team this year.
How'd you get the Tempest line to give you a morning practice?
They took the week off, which was rare, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, they're going to take the Thanksgiving break a little bit early.
Coach, I asked one of the other coaches, too, and you've indicated you lost quite a few of your seniors, on that. And I says, well, how do you feel about looking forward to this year? And he says, well, one thing I don't do is I feel like we're rebuilding. He says, we're not rebuilding, maybe reloading again, but you mentioned a couple of words here that I want to, talent. Is that what you can look at your team this year and say, that's the pool, I think, that we're going to build off of this year?
Yeah, I think that's the challenge for all coaches. You have your kids, and each one of them have their different strengths and talents and weaknesses, and you just have to blend it all together and try to make the best team that you can. So kids have got to buy into the role, and so far so good. They're doing that, and they realize what they're good at, and they try to stick with that. Overall, we're really big on effort. I mean, you earn your playing time through your effort and just playing smart and playing together and doing what we need to do to be successful, and that's how you get on the court. So we got some, like I said, we have some younger guys, some juniors, and actually have quite a few sophomores that we brought up to the varsity that are talented, inexperienced, young. They're going to make a few mistakes, but we feel like as they continue to groom and grow, they're going to help us be successful.
Coach, give us some names. Tell us, how deep this team looks. I mean, early in the preseason, will you play 8, 10? I mean, how many of these new guys will we see on the court?
I think in the preseason you try to do that. You play 8, 9, 10, maybe even 11 guys. Just kind of see, what people are doing and how we're playing together and who plays well together. And so you take advantage of that opportunity. However, we do have a region game, I think our 5th game of the season, so we need to have a little bit of an idea of who we can go with. But these 4 seniors have been awesome leaders. They work hard, and what I love about them is they are not, holding any of those sophomores or juniors down. They're like pulling them up and say, let's go, boys, you got to get up here and compete. And they know what it takes to be successful, and so they're lifting those kids and they're pulling them along, and those sophomores are working hard, and the juniors are working hard. But Mason Chase is a kid that played a little bit for us last year as a sophomore, but he's got high expectations this year for us. And then we have some sophomores as well. who do we got, guys? We got Keegan Munson, right? And we got the Holmes kid. There's the newbie kid. He'll see a lot of action. He's a really strong kid for a sophomore that has the ability to play some varsity ball. And so Judkins' son is right there with him, and Trey Rockhill. So anyway, those 5 kids will play a lot of JVs, and they'll get some spot minutes and in the varsity as well. So.
Yeah, I heard your freshman team last year was beating people like 90-20 and stuff like that. So
I don't know about that. Our sophomore or our freshman team last year was really solid, but the whole region as a whole, that group, there's a really good, talented pool throughout, the whole region. So that'll be a real strong year.
Can you introduce your players to us now, the guys you brought with us?
Well, you guys start down there with Spencer. Spencer's a senior. He's kind of our lunch pail guy, does all the little things to help us be successful, and he's a tough kid. He brings that cowboy attitude. So anyway, he does a good job.
You just earned a nickname now. You're the cowboy. You know that, right?
And Carson, he's the steady Eddie of our team, man. He's just does the right things and very good decision maker, really smart players in the right spots at the right times, and he's a kid that can stroke it pretty good too. So. And so we got Alex Sampson right here. He played a little bit of varsity last year.
Yep.
Real hard-nosed, tough kid who loves to compete, and he'll do a great job for us. And then obviously
Mike had dubbed Alex, by the way, the microwave because he came in instantly hot.
Energizer guy, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
anyway, he had a tremendous practice today. I was really proud of him. But and then Trevin. He has our most experience of anybody on the team, and he did a really good job last year, and we expect the same things from us, but his role is going to have to play a little bit of point guard as well, and we're finding out he does that, really well. So we feel like his growth is going to continue at that position, and he'll play a little bit off guard as well. So,
Trevin, because you're one of the guys with a lot of experience, can you tell me maybe how you feel this team is going to be compared to last year and what your strengths are going to be this year?
This year with all the younger kids, like the sophomores and juniors, they have more chemistry. And last year I feel like that was a downfall for us, was our chemistry we couldn't put together as a team. But this year I feel like our team as a whole is a lot better, and that's what's going to make us the best is our chemistry.
Awesome.
So cowboy, I just had to throw that out there. I kind of like the word, actually. You mind that name? Is that cool? Does that make you feel good about it? I mean, that's pretty cool, actually. What does it mean to you?
Can you ride a horse? That's what we really want.
So that kind of means to me, that's what I try to do. That's my game. I try to just go in there and do the little things the coaches teach us to do and just trust their coaching.
Good stuff. All right.
Carson, let's bring in Carson. Carson, what was the offseason like for you? Probably envisioned that you'd be part of this team and a leader. Here you are at the media day. What specifically were you working on to get better?
Well, I just liked working on my outside shot because that's a big part of my game, the three-point game. And then Coach pointed out to me last season that I needed to improve my mid-range game. So I've been working a lot to improve that, to be a bigger threat than just the three-point line. And it's helped too.
Let's talk to Alex a little bit about the defensive side of the ball. I mean, Coach has got a few presses up his sleeve if he needs them. Do you feel like that's something that you guys have already got a good grasp on?
Oh yeah, definitely. That's one of our top key points of emphasis that we use is defense. Defense is key to winning all basketball games, so I think that's something we can exceed in, and our team does really well in as well, especially with those pressing.
Coach mentioned you had a good practice today. I wonder what that means. Like, what do you feel like you did that would impress the coach today?
Being a leader is one of the most important things that I try to hold.
Like a vocal leader, or?
Yeah, vocally and kind of behind the scenes as well. Just picking up someone or giving someone a high five that nobody really notices, but also when you're on the court, being loud, being vocal, and being that team leader, I feel like that's really important.
Now, Trevin, you did play off ball a lot last year. What do you see as being different when you're handling the ball more, and how's that transition? Obviously, Coach thinks it's going good. How do you feel like it's going so far?
I feel like it's pretty good. I think I trust that my ball handling skills are good enough to take it down and protect it from whatever I need to. And I can also be an off guard, so I feel like I'm a threat both ways.
Do you run those drills where you carry the basketball with you 24/7 and, you know, you're able to between your legs during class and things like that?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah?
All the time.
That's good to hear. I like that.
As long as he has his books in the other hand.
There's got to be a trick.
Oh, that. Yeah.
Desert Hills Thunder here with us. Got 3-4 more minutes left. Coach, talk to us a little bit about the schedule and how it lays out, some of the tournaments, what you're looking forward to, maybe some of the tough preseason games that you're excited for the kids to get opportunity to shine.
Well, we've had an extra week of practice, which this team I feel like needs, you know, to continue to mature and grow together. But our first game's up there at Ridgefield at preview tournament. We start off with Ridgefield, who's going to be a good team this year. We played them this summer, and it was a tough game. So, and then we turn around and play Stansbury, who their program's up and coming, and they get their kids playing well and playing hard. So we'll be tested right off the bat. And then the next weekend, I think we are here at Dixie, the Ken Robinson tournament. Centennial from Vegas is coming up, and they're always a really tough, you know, program. They have been in the past, so that'll be a big challenge. And I think we play Spanish Fork as well. So 4 good games to get us prepared for our first region game, which is the most important, and that's Hurricane at our place for that 5th game.
You got the Coach Walk tournament you mentioned, but I don't know much about the Utah Autism Tourney. Where's that at? What's that?
That's Olympus. They do a really nice job up there, fundraising some money as well for that program, and a lot of good teams come to that every year. So we're able to get 4 games in 3 days. So it's a great experience. This will be our 3rd year in a row, I believe, going up to that, and we've enjoyed our time there and look forward to that again.
When you look around Region 9, a lot of seniors gone. It seems like about everybody had 4, 5, 6, 7 seniors. Dixie had 10. What do you see? Who do you feel like some of the natural big games are going to be against?
Honestly, every team that we've played, and we've played pretty much every team in the region, I mean, it's a toss-up. To me, it's going to be the team that's going to be more consistent, especially on the defensive end. Our kids have got to buy into that, and that's got to be number one. And then from there, we can roll and do other things. But the teams that are most consistent, that don't turn the ball over, I think are going to have the best chances of being victorious. But it's going to be a tough dogfight every game. I mean, Cedar's tough, Dixie's good again. Snow Canyon's got a new coach. It's got them, you know, their spirits up, and they played tough this summer. And so Pine View's loaded again. Got a lot of talent. And Canyon View's always a tough matchup. Their kids play really hard, and Hurricane's got some underclassmen that are talented as well. They're kind of in the same mode we are, just trying to figure it all out. So I think every game is going to be really tough. So for us, we've got to be consistent.
So in baseball, chicks dig the long ball, and basketball, chicks dig the dunk, right? So who can dunk on your team? Who's the best dunker?
Probably Mason Chase.
Mason Chase?
Yeah, the junior. He's a really good dunker.
Yeah? What about you guys? You guys throw down?
I don't think any of us can.
right here.
And every now and then I'll run down, but
If it's a good day, huh?
Spencer can get it with his cowboy boots, but that's about it.
You didn't answer if you could ride a horse or not.
I can ride a horse.
You can ride a horse. There you go.
Coach, do you feel like this group is, you know, pacing ahead of maybe last year's group or about the same?
It's funny you bring that up. It's a good question. Coach Hoke and I were talking about that. We feel like we're a little farther ahead, actually, than we were last year, which is surprising with the youngsters. But that tells you how the kids are buying into it and working hard. So honestly, I feel like we have gotten better every single practice. And that's obviously a goal that we want as coaches and players. And so they're bringing a great attitude, they're bringing a great effort, and they're improving every day. So I like the direction we're going.
Desert Hills Thunder, Coach Wade Turley, Alex Sampson, Trevin Lindstrom, Carson Thornton, and Spencer Jolly representing the Thunder as well. And again, season will get going out in Richfield Friday, November 30th, and we'll be out there. ESPN Radio will have a bunch of games inside that tournament as well. Coach, guys, best of luck this season. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having us.
Region 9 Media Day continues. When we come back, the Hurricane Tigers will join us next. And I'd like to thank our great sponsors, Johnson Pediatric Dentistry, Holbrook Asphalt, our friends at Camping World St. George, as well as Summit Athletic Club. Don't go away. 5-minute break, and the Tigers join us on set.
Are we good?
We Yeah.
There we are. Hi, I'm Eric Young.
And I'm Jennifer Kohler.
And this is, we're coming to you right before our show that we go live with Talking Point Live. And we just wanted to tell you to make sure you join us Wednesdays at 9:30, live coming to you from the studios of the CEC here on the campus of Dixie State University.
Yeah, and you can catch the rebroadcast at 9:30 when we're not live, and 12:30 and 4:30. Daily, weekly.
Daily? This is like way too much,
Yeah.
I think. But just in case you got something better to do,
yeah,
there's all those times you can catch it as well. Also, you can catch us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/talkingpointlive and on the CEC YouTube channel. All right, see you there.
We're basically very catchable.
Well, you are.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
Where do you find the titans of classical music in St. George? Classical music on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM. Where do you find the legends of jazz? Evenings on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
There is a place where rocks bleed and nature blushes on a battlefield green with envy, where dimples determine destiny and a tiny wooden teak holds the outcome in the balance. There is a place where friends are opponents and opponents are friends, where the prize is elusive, the conquest is captivating, and the score isn't settled till the drinks are down. There is a place.
Radio Dixie 91.3. We don't play that. Nope, not that. A big fat no there. That's what we play. And stuff like that. On St. George's only alternative, Radio Dixie 91.3. Oh, and from 9 till midnight, we play this. I need a one dance. And this. Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
Lunchtime, I'm starving.
Yeah, me too. Hey, Carrick, have you heard about the most exciting new thing on campus this semester?
Oh, you must be talking about the new grandstand addition on the east side of Trailblazer Stadium.
No, man, that's actually not what I'm talking about.
Oh, you must be referring to the new Human Performance Center they're building on campus.
Well, that's a good guess, Carrick, but nope, wrong again.
Oh, I know. You mean that this is the first season for Dixie State as a full member in the RMAC?
All those things are really exciting, Carrick, but the most exciting new thing on campus is the new Trailblazer Weekly show every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on CEC TV, the Dixie State Athletics YouTube page, and on Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
You're right. That is more exciting. Trailblazer Weekly, every Wednesday at 3 p.m. beginning on August 29th on CEC TV, Dixie State Athletics YouTube page, and Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
Welcome back, 2018 Region 9 Basketball Media Day. Devin Dixon, Andy Griffin, Mike McGarry. We're hanging out, and we got the Hurricane Tigers with us. Coming off a really good season last year with Coach Langston, third in the conference, and had a 14-5 overall record. And Coach, I know every year you lose some guys, but you're ready to reload and get after it again. And always like to start with you and just kind of bring us up to speed from last season through the off season, and tell us about the summers and all the tryouts and how everything's going, getting ready for this year.
Well, tryouts are always hard. We had to let some kids go that have been in our program in the past, but I feel like we got the kids that gives us the best opportunity to win. As far as this summer goes, we've played a lot of ball together as a group. We probably played 60 games or so over the summer at all levels, so a lot of opportunity for our kids to get to mesh and play together and learn what each other's strengths are, and looking forward to a good season, hopefully.
We were talking before we went on air about Jackson last. What a great kid he was. He's off on a mission now, but he's probably going to play wherever he wants to play at the next level. As a coach, though, guys graduate, and then you're still there. You've got to figure out how to fill a big, humongous hole, not just Jackson, the rest of your seniors as well. But how have you addressed that in the offseason and heading into this year?
It's just one of those things that happen in high school basketball. You're going to have kids come and go. Jackson was a great player, great team leader, shared the basketball. But that being said, we feel like we have a lot of kids coming back that had a lot of experience from last year. The three that we brought here played quite a bit of ball, and actually were very, very important in our wins against Logan, and had a lot to do with some of our late wins in region. And so we feel like that we're just going to, it's going to be more of a team effort. I mean, there's not going to be anyone that's going to shoot, the ball 25 times a game on our team, but we got a lot of guys that could shoot the ball between 7 and 10 times each, and we could be very effective. Got some guys that could put the ball in the hole, so.
You may have already answered my question here, but I was just going to say, and I know it's still early, and you haven't yet got on the court with the kids, but is there anything, word or phrase or anything that comes to mind when you say, look at my kids for 2018 and 19, what comes to your mind? You mentioned experience, you mentioned team effort, anything else, Coach?
Well, it all starts with defense.
Yeah.
So if I was going to say a key word, it would be defensive. If we can shut people down and play good defense, we're going to give ourselves opportunities to win. That being said, I feel like that overall that we'll probably have a better shooting team this year than we had last year. We had a couple of kids that could fill it up last year. It was nice to get Reagan back and healthy towards the end of the year. But this year I feel like that, our 5 starting kids or 6 or 7 top kids, all of them can shoot the basketball. We've got a couple of kids back that we didn't have as juniors. Dominic Scott is one of them. He's 6'5". Great rebounder, great defender. He'll be playing for us this year. He wasn't with us last year. Then we also had a kid move in from Vegas who was the second leading scorer in the state of Nevada last year. Good outside shooter, good slasher, and we're hoping that he'll be able to contribute to our program also.
What's his name, Coach?
Dallin Davis is his name. So played in a small school there in the Las Vegas area, but he can definitely shoot the basketball. So we're hoping that with him contributing with the guys that we have already in the program that will be good.
You got some size with TJ, and Matthew looks like he's grown a little bit this last 12 months. You mentioned those guys. Do you feel like you're going to have one of the bigger teams? Is that going to be a strength? You can pound the rock inside?
We're going to be, TJ's 6'5", Matt's 6'4", Dominic's 6'4" or 5. Got another senior that's 6'6", another senior that's 6'5". So we are tall. I just hope we can play big. Sometimes some of my big guys don't play very big. Bryce is one of our smaller guys in our program, and yet one of our best rebounders. So we're working on that. Rebounding will definitely be important to us, and but we do have some good length.
Let's introduce the players representing the Hurricane Tigers with Coach Langston here. We've got Matthew Myers, Bryce Thomas, and TJ Minor, and let's get to know them just a little bit. Matthew, start with you. How has your role changed from some of the minutes you got last year to this year in your eyes?
Playing along Jackson was great, I think, for me, just to know how to control a game. And going from last year to this year, last year was mostly catch and shoot off of his pass, but this year I got to take the ball to the hole and do a lot more.
Bryce, just curious, how's the stroke? How many shots you got outside of your summer league games and everything like that? I mean, are you a guy that likes to go get an extra 100 free throws in after practice and get on the gun and shoot a bunch more threes?
Yeah, I usually stay after practice for like an hour and just shoot around and get some more shots up after practice.
Obviously, you've got a great three-point shot. but you're not as tall. So have you worked on, that pump fake and that mid-range game? How's the mid-range game been this summer?
Yeah, I've been working on it and like pull-up shots and like off the pick and things like that. I've been working on that.
Who do you watch? Is there a college or a pro guy that you kind of emulate, that you really like to watch how they play and then try to kind of play similar to that?
Yeah, Steph Curry. I love watching him because I don't know, I kind of play like him and shoot like him and things like that.
I think your coach is glad to hear you can shoot like him.
I wish.
I'm all about that.
I shoot better than him.
There you go. TJ, your role this year, what do you see? What are you hoping to come up with?
Well, I've kind of changed my role a little bit. Last year I was more like, I don't know, the pass and pick player. Well, that was for varsity last year. I was an offensive threat JV, and I still feel like I'm a strong offensive threat. I feel like that'll be my strong point, is down in the basket, making post moves. I've broadened my range to more mid-range and three-point. I'm not sure coach will like that, but...
How comfortable out are you? I mean, are you comfortable with 17, 18 foot footers?
Yeah, I've been working.
You got green lights to shoot threes?
Yeah.
As long as they go in.
As long as they go in.
We'll give him one.
You got to make your first one.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, tell me, you talked about playing alongside Jackson and the team last year. What would you say you learned from Jackson last?
Just how to take over a game, how to distribute the ball, playmaking abilities. He really taught me a lot of that stuff just by watching.
Bryce, how's the chemistry? You got, new move-ins, kid that didn't play last year, he's back. Is the chemistry just perfect? Is it better than ever?
Yeah, we're working on it. We trying to teach them the new offenses and things like that, but I think we work pretty good together after just playing over the summer and things like that.
Coach, are you changing up some things with the new personnel? I mean, are you trying to tailor it more to their strengths?
Definitely we're going to look to shoot the three more probably this year than we have in the past. We want to get to the basket, of course, inside out is always our preference, but there's not a lot of changes as far as the offenses and things that we run. We want to get better at that, of course, and execute better. And defensively, of course, we're working on some things, some presses and things that we'd like to be able to use this year in situations when we need to get the ball back. So hopefully with some of those things, that will definitely help our program and help our team be better. So
the style of Southern Utah is more about defense. We've heard it, every coach we've talked to today starts with defense. You go up like Logan and Ridgeline and those teams up there, it's about running and gunning and scoring, outscoring their opponents. Why do you think the difference is? And really neither has proven to be more successful than the other, but why do you think the big difference?
Well, personally, from my own personal standpoint, is I think that you definitely win with defense. You look at these teams in the NBA that score 125 points all season long. Well, when they get in the playoffs, normally what happens is the teams that play great defense are the teams that wins the championships. Yeah. And I believe that's the same in high school basketball. We know we can score the ball, but we have to be able to stop other people from scoring. And so that's definitely our emphasis. Rebounding, those type of things. Those are the things that are going to win games for us.
You got some great tournaments, which is what I think it turns out that your preseason games are a lot in tournament play. You go to Richfield. Have you been to the Page Invitational before?
Last year we went to the Page Invitational. We're going back there again this year. We play Page and then a couple of teams out of Arizona. And then we've gone to the Vegas tournament every year, but they ended up canceling that tournament this year. So that was 4 games that we picked up there that we've had to fill in with Richfield and some other teams. So.
Are there certain teams you look at when you look at those and say, wow, this is going to give us a great help, or maybe just I'm glad we get to take on some teams like that?
I look at South Severe, even though they're a smaller school, they're a premier program, and they do a great job of shooting the ball, and they got a great coach. They run a great press. It's a great opportunity for us to work against the press, to learn how to play people man-to-man. They're great shooters, and so that's always a great game for us. We've played them every year for the last 3 years. Richfield's always a great contest. Page, it's a different look out there. It's a lot of run and gun. So it's kind of different than Region 9, but yet it's a good opportunity for us to see some other kind of brands of ball.
Page is an interesting tournament. Pineview used to go there every single year, and they even won it a few times. What do you gain from going to that? Because I've been there a couple of times myself. There's some not very good teams there, but there's also some really, really good teams there. So what do you try to gain?
The key is to get in the winner's bracket.
Yeah.
If you're in the winner's bracket, you have great games. If you get in the loser's bracket, like you said, the competition isn't as good. It's just a different brand of basketball, and so with that being dropped from Vegas late, we had to find a tournament to fill. And so, Paige had a spot, so that was, and we went back there the year before there, and the kids had a great time. They take you on some nice tours and different things like that. So it's a nice opportunity for our juniors and seniors to spend some time together and to do some fun things and build some team chemistry.
I was going to say bonding too, because you're basically away from home for 3-4 days.
Yeah, it's 3 days, so it's a great tournament. It's a lot of fun.
Coach Langston, and we've got Matthew Myers, Bryce Thomas, TJ Miner with us here. Got about 3.5 more minutes. You mentioned you lost that tournament. How hard is it to go last minute and pick up some more games? Do you still have an open avail on your schedule?
I have one opening, that we would like to fill a game after Christmas where we were playing in Vegas, so we're still looking for a game there. It is hard to find games because people kind of do the same thing year after year, and so to get in, to find extra games and stuff is tough to do, especially where they don't want you to travel out of state much. They don't want you to travel up north much. So it kind of limits as far as, teams that you can try to get games against. So,
Coach, size up the rest of the region. A lot of seniors. You lost your fair share of talented ones, like we've been talking about. But when you look around Region 9, you see them in the summers. Is it going to be as competitive as ever, like it always is in old Region 9?
Yeah, it's going to be a great season. We've had the opportunity to play against all the teams this summer, and they're all good. I think it's just who executes, who takes care of the basketball, those type of things will be who wins the games. We're looking forward to it. We feel like we have a great opportunity to play well. It depends on our team chemistry and how we come together as a team.
I'm sitting here trying to compile the all region preseason team and the votes and stuff, and there's some names that keep coming up. But in your mind, who do you see as being the guys around the region that are going to be guys you really got to keep an eye out for? You can think of anybody?
Well, I don't want to put a target on anybody, but I think Cedar's got a couple of kids coming back that have had some varsity experience that are still really young that are going to be great ball players.
Yeah, Dallin Grant's name, big redhead.
Dallin, we played against him a couple times this summer. He's definitely a great ball player. The Lindquist kid from Desert Hills can definitely fill it up. Joey Robinson from Snow Canyon, big post player, always a challenge. And I think with Snow Canyon and with their new coach and some new emphasis out there, I see some good things happening out there also.
Awesome. I wanted to ask you, you've been a coach, you actually now have a lot of tenure in this region, especially with the new guys coming in.
I think I'm probably the second most tenured coach in the region. So,
what advice would you give the new coaches? Do you think that Coach Meacham and Coach Roberts realize how competitive the region is? I mean, Roberts has been in the region for a while anyway as an assistant. But.
Well, I'm sure they do. And, the gentleman from Snow Canyon, he was at American Fork, one of the premier programs in the state of Utah. So I'm sure there's no problem there with him fitting in and understand what he wants to do. So
you're not giving them any advice. You're saying good luck, fellas.
Just good luck. It's a lot of work for all of us.
It is, for
Coach,
sure.
as far as these non-region games, how deep will you go on the bench, and will you try to get up and down the court and push it a little bit? Are you trying to find exactly the right formula as far as transition and how much emphasis you put on pressure defense in these early games?
Well, we always look to push the ball in transition, try to get some easy shots. If not, we want to pull it out, run our offense. So the keys to our team being successful is not to turn the basketball over. If we can take care of the basketball, reverse the ball, get the ball inside out, get good shots. We got guys that can shoot the ball. Matt's all these guys here are great shooters. Like TJ was saying, he's worked on his game. He can shoot the 15-foot jump shot, and yet he can get to the rim. He's big and strong around the basket. So those are some things that, Dominique, one of the kids we talked about earlier, he's great around the basket. He can jump. So I feel like that we can get the ball inside and also outside. So.
Good stuff. Hurricane Tigers getting ready for their upcoming season North Severe. It's on the 30th, and they'll be out there in the Central Utah Preview Tournament in Richfield with a lot of our other Region 9 teams. Coach Langston, guys, best of luck this season. Thanks for the time as always.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll take another time out, but Region 9 Media Day continues on. We still got Pineview, Snow Canyon, and Cedar coming in. Plus, we'll have our all-region awards at the end of the show, so don't touch that dial.
Hey, guys. How are you today?
Good.
I'm here to talk about how with technology you can make amazing worlds. Come with me. My team and I bring the Halo world to life.
Is that you?
That is me. I wasn't a math genius, and I knew nothing about coding. But you guys do. You guys have the power to change things.
I want your job.
I want you to have my job.
Man, where's Carrick? The show's about to start.
Carrick Segmiller approaches his ball after a beautiful approach shot. This ball landed about 12, 13 feet away as he lines up the putt. He'll have this one for birdie.
Hey, have any of you guys seen Carrick?
I think he went that way.
Segmiller eyes his ball as he lines it up. Again, this putt for birdie will win the tournament. He steps to his ball. The putt's on its way. It's got the right speed. It's in! Carrick Segmiller for birdie to win the tournament as the crowd goes wild. He is celebrating. He is ecstatic.
Yeah. Carrick, we got shorter in like 5 minutes. Let's go. Come on, man. I'm just playing some golf. Come on, let's go.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and the sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
There is a place where the sun doesn't hide in the winter, where the greens stay green and the crimson canyons still glow. There is a place where dimples determine destiny, and a tiny wooden tee holds the outcome in the balance. There is a place where we drive for show, putt for dough, and settle the score with another round. There is a place.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
People like John McCain and other people would just sit there quietly on the sides, and that many Republican activists would refrain from registering their disapproval in the peanut gallery?
Some might argue that Republican activist is an oxymoron.
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of activism.
Right.
But do you see what I'm saying? If you just flip it right over on its head.
I would like to flip it on its head, and in fact, I'm already doing that because my own position is free speech is free speech. Okay, and I'm kind of advocating for something that I'm really not supporting in this respect. As far as protesting or not protesting and being able to recognize your audience, what we need on either side, I don't care where you're coming from, is the ability to recognize the audience.
I'm Ferdinand. You look at me and think big. You think scary, but I'm a little misunderstood. Sorry, I almost killed you. Kids with learning and attention issues are misunderstood too. Take the time to understand. Learn more at understood.org.
Heard about the scarecrow who won an award? He was outstanding in his field.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be earthquake next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Welcome back to our 2018 Region 9 Basketball and Media Day. We're at the CEC TV studios, Dixie State University. And if you're out and about, you're listening on 97.7 ESPN, also watching on our website, sportsradio977.com. I've got Andy Griffin, Mike McGarry, and I. We've got the View Panthers now in the building. And just want to remind everybody, if you missed any of our earlier stuff, we'll have it all uploaded, and you go back and watch your favorite team if you've missed anything. Coach Eves now here, and Coach, good to see you again. Bring us up to speed, talk about the off season and how tryouts are going, what summer camps you did, and your expectations for the kids this year.
First of all, tryouts are over, so that's that's the biggest part.
We got a late start.
Yeah, we got a late start. We just barely selected the team last probably Wednesday, I think it was. So it's good to get going with this group. We had a great summer, really. We played a lot of basketball. We split time with football a little bit, but went up to a big tournament up at the Rocky Mountain Jamboree and played some really great teams. We had a good Dixie State tournament, a couple spring tournaments here and there. It was a lot of fun. We competed, got better, played a lot of kids. We were a little bit young last year, but got a lot of kids some experience, so it should be great.
Weird thing, Coach Eves. We've talked, and all the coaches brought these guys in, and we're like, I don't think I've met him. I don't know him. You got guys we've all seen before. These are familiar names to us. Yeah. Is that a good thing? I mean, you got experience at least, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we only had 2 seniors last year. We finished out the season with 2 seniors, and we played a lot of kids. A lot of sophomores got some reps last year. So I feel like we got a great group of juniors and seniors, which, sometimes it's a little heavy one side or the other, but we've got a great group of both, so it should be great.
Awesome.
Last year you guys were just 4-8, missed out on the play. I think you're 5th in region. What makes you feel like, even though you got a little late start again this year, this team maybe could be further ahead and have a better chance to maybe win a region title? I think a lot of it's chemistry we've already built. Like I said, we played a lot this summer and spring, and we got a good group. We got a good mix of basketball kids only that have put in a lot of time. I mean, tons of hours. And the football kids, once they get, shake the rust off, get back in the swing of things, I think we'll gel a little better this year, a little more experience, a little more toughness. How many football kids do you have? You have Michael Moore, Dallin Brown, who else? Got 3 here. Brock. These guys, yeah. Brock, Gavin, Brooksby. But that aren't here. Cooper Mills, he's a junior this year. Isaiah Moulton's playing this year for us. Just a good athlete. Got some younger sophomores, so we ended up having about, on our varsity squad, probably 7 or 8. It's probably the highest number in the region, I would guess. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Any concern about 2 sports? I mean, some coaches don't mind it at all. Say if a kid's an athlete, he wants to play 2 sports, go for it. You adhere to that, or do you wish you had them? I know all the time with you. But.
I mean, I love having kids that just put time in.
Yeah.
And it's hard for a 2-sport athlete to really put a ton of time in when they're not in sport. But I think these kids are ready to go. I mean, these guys right here, senior year, they've given a lot to the program. They worked hard this summer. It'll take a little bit, but a couple weeks out, and they'll be just hopefully in season shape. So
that's what a lot of coaches talk about: basketball shape versus football shape. And you ask a guy like Gavin Bateman here about the running involved in basketball compared to football. It's a lot different, isn't it?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Let's meet the guys. Coach, why don't you introduce the guys and tell our audience why you decided to bring these guys to represent the program?
For sure. We got Ryan Hopper, he's a junior. Gavin Bateman's a senior. Connor Brooksby's a senior, and Brock Shaw's a senior. These guys are guys that I count on in the trenches. They do what they're asked. They're coachable. They're great teammates. But the funny part was that's who the team selected as captains this year. We had the teammates vote, and obviously they see what I see, hopefully. So just a great group of kids, willing to work their butts off. I mean, a lot of them played minutes last year even, so it's gonna be fun.
I want to go down to the end here, Mr. Homecoming King over here. Brock, tell us a little bit about what you expect out of yourself and out of your team this year in basketball, and how hard it is to go from being a football guy late, into the semifinals now to get ready for basketball.
Well, I would say, for myself, I just want to help my teammates be better and stuff, so whatever I can do to make them better so we can score, that's probably my biggest thing. And we really want to get a region championship this year, so we've been working really hard, and discipline and compete's probably our 2 biggest goals. And then in football it was fun and intense, but it's not it's just as fun as basketball, but just so much more running and stuff. So.
I was gonna say your dad's a coach, and you were there when they won some championships, and a few years back and stuff. And What's that feeling like as a fan, and now that you're a member of the team? I mean, is that something you feel like you can capture again?
Yeah, I get really emotional because like I grew up and this is just like a dream come true. So.
Yep.
Let's bring in Connor for a second. Connor, congratulations, great football career at Pineview High School.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see you kicking on Saturdays soon, but how hard is it to get the finesse back, the shot, the touch, after you've been pounding on people, and in your case, kicking it against people?
You know, it's difficult for the first week or two, but then really it's just you got to get in and work. You got to get in and get shots up. The main part is to never get out of it. You know, this year I got out of it a little bit, kind of focused on kicking, but I feel like I'm starting to get back into it. It's just comes down to how many shots you put up. So.
You never get out of it. I mean, like on Wednesday night, you try to, after football practice, go sneak a couple jumpers up?
Yeah, like Saturdays, you know, and kind of at least once a week go and get some shots up. So.
Now, Gavin, I know you've got the shot, right? You played well all summer from what I understand. I want kind of a similar question. Now it's all basketball.
Yep.
How quickly can you get ready for your first game, which is coming right up?
Takes about a week or two, and our game's in about 2 weeks, so gives us enough time, you know, but.
Do you worry about fouling out early in the first game of the season?
I would. Going from football to basketball, it's a little bit harder. You're more physical, but that'll die down a little bit. But, yeah.
Guys, I like to take notes what it's said about, and all the teams have kind of come up with it. Your coach kind of mentioned things like chemistry, unity, a brotherhood. Do you feel like, as you look at this team, and I know it's early in the year, I'm going to start with Ryan if you don't mind, but how do you feel about this group? What is it that you feel like is good, special, and you look forward to being together with these guys?
Well, all of our teams have been playing for a long time. Like, we've all been together since like freshman year.
Yeah.
And last year we were playing varsity minutes all together. So we just got to bond more.
Did you pick up where you were last year? Gavin, you're shaking your head, yeah? You feel that's going to pick up where it was and move forward, huh?
Yeah.
It's a good thing to hear, Coach. I
know what they're going to say.
Coach, how much do you change the playbook this year versus last year? I mean, there's some things you scrapped and some new things you brought in as far as, you know, what you want the kids to execute?
Yeah, we made a few defensive adjustments. I mean, as you can tell, we weren't big last year. We don't have any 6'8" guys, and we've been used to that for so long, big. But we just, you know, we're going to play similar to last year. Like I said, we've got everything in, luckily. Once it just takes a couple weeks to get back into remembering the plays and the timing. You know, basketball's about timing. You know, offense is about spacing, things like that. That takes a minute. You know.
You know, as a former big, do you want the guys to go inside out, or do you feel like the three-point shot is maybe more of a strength, or transition up tempo is more of a strength? What do you see as your strengths?
Yeah, we got shooters for sure, and I think we push the tempo nice. I mean, we still got to get easy buckets inside. We got to get easy buckets running the floor, things like that. You know, we don't want to just settle for casting them up and, you know, live and die by the three either. But hopefully our defense will transition into some easy buckets, get, you know, easy buckets around.
If you could pick one statistic that you would lead the region in, what would it be?
Steals.
You lead the region in steals, you might lead the region in scoring with all the easy buckets. Right?
Hopefully.
Coach, I want to ask you, a couple of guys not on the team. Taylor Tobler was one who decided not to play, obviously a dynamic scorer, but had some health problems. And then got asked about Dallin Brown. Did he decide he's going to play?
Yep.
That's a game changer too,
Yeah, for
right?
sure. He's still getting back from a few injuries in football, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to ease into it. But we're excited to have him.
Yeah. Awesome. Very awesome. All right.
Ryan, how much are you going to have the ball in your hands, running the point, and how much will you be playing off the ball? Because you got a good stroke.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be playing a lot on the ball this year, coming off of screens, setting other players up. So,
Coach, talk to us a little bit about the rotation. I mean, you got these guys are going to be an integral part of what you're doing, but, you know, will you try to play 10-11 early in the season to shake off the football legs and give those guys a look and see the chemistry, or do you have kind of that 8-man rotation already kind of formulating?
I feel like, I mean, even this summer we played 10 guys. You know, I'd like to play 10. I mean, I'm sure every coach says that. We'll see. We'll see what, you know, mid-region, are we going to be able to play 10 guys and not lose a step? You know, that's kind of my concern. Can we play 10 and be as competitive? I think we can. If we, you know, we buy into getting in better shape and buy into sharing the ball, which we've done a pretty good job of.
Brock, what's a goal for you this year? I don't care if it's statistically or team-wise. I mean, something that you and the other captains have talked about, or if it's you want to shoot 90% from the free throw line. I don't care. What are some of the goals for Brock Shaw?
Be a good captain. Like I said before, help my teammates be better. I'm not expecting to play a lot of minutes. I'm just expected to, when I get in, hit high percentage threes and help my boys out to get some dubs. So.
Very nice. That's a good goal. Get some dubs.
Get some dubs.
You're not talking about barbecue, you're talking about wins.
Yeah, wins.
Yeah, but I know you said steals, but what would you like to average this year? Because I know you can score a little bit. I mean, you want 15 a night? You want 20 a night? What's a goal that maybe scoring-wise you'd be happy with?
I just want to win. That's all. But
if you're scoring 30 a night, you're probably winning.
Yeah, probably. I would probably over 10, 15, yeah. So.
What do you want him scoring, Coach?
I'm good with that. I think he 12 points a game easy. He can shoot. He's like you said. He's going to get out in the lanes, get some steals, finish around the rim. I mean, that's totally doable.
There's a little buzz going around about Gavin Bateman this year in the off season. And
had a nice summer.
I mean, your coach told me that you had a great off season, but I've heard other people say that too. What have you done that has created that buzz? Why?
During the football season, I would always go shoot in the morning. So no time off, like Connor said. Go shoot when there's no lifting in the morning, or go shoot after football. Just can't let off. Got to keep going.
I got to ask the dunk question. Who can dunk on your team, and who's going to win a dunk contest?
Brown or Taven?
Brown.
Taven. One of those two.
You know, Connor, you've got to play big inside. What are you, 6'2", 6'3"?
I'm like 6'1", 6'2".
And Coach is going to have you playing probably on the block quite a bit again this year. I know you played there last year. Yeah. What's that like going up against these 6'5", 6'6" kids from some of the other Region 9 schools? What's your mentality?
You just got to get in there and work. You basically have to body them up and be more physical. That's what I try to do, and last year it worked all right.
But you're a kicker. You're not supposed to be physical.
That's a physical one.
That's funny. Honestly, I kind of like the dichotomy of it all, because as a kicker, you're the reputation of a kicker. You don't get hit. You're not tough. But in basketball last year, you were kind of the guy, the nitty-gritty guy, grinding it inside with the big guys. So how do you resolve that in your mind, or does it need to be resolved?
I sit all football season and watch everyone hit, so just kind of me sit there. I don't know. Basketball season, I just like to be more physical, and that's how I've always played. So.
The shot teach you how to stick your nose in it?
Yeah. Yep.
View Panthers with us here. Got about a minute and a half left. Coach, let's bring back Coach Eves and talk about the schedule. You're going to Richfield. Then you got that north-south that a lot of our Region 9 teams are playing in. Then you got the Coach Walk Classic. That's always a special one because you guys host that one.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's really special to us. You know, the Walkers are a huge part, even in helping with the tournament. They volunteer a lot of the man hours to help us fundraise money. You know, they bring in food, all that stuff. It's a great little tournament. I mean, teams always want to come down. We got Westlake coming down, got Green Canyon, Logan, Roy. Got a lot with some good teams. Maple Mountain's coming back. It's gonna be a fun one.
Well, you play in the north-south, you don't even have to go anywhere.
I know. We'll see we'll see every Logan team in the preseason, so that'll be fun.
How about the draw this year that you guys don't have to play that pre-Christmas Region 9 game?
Yeah, we lucked out for sure. I'm excited for that one. Yeah.
Everybody else playing December 19th
I know.
in the region. You guys get to watch.
We get a bye. That's nice.
That's good and bad. I mean, if you win that first game 1-0 through the holidays, it doesn't sound bad, but
True.
I guess 500 is fine.
Yeah. No, it'll be good. Give us a chance to get ready for region.
So you got the same staff? Have you added any new coaches to help you this year?
Coach Fairborn's taking a year off. You probably remember Coach Fairborn. Coach DeWitt's helping with the defense varsity. He was a freshman coach the last couple of years. Other than that, we've got some coaches. Both Coach Shaws are helping. Coach Moore's helping. Got a new freshman coach. So we got some good guys. Got a lot of great coaches.
Look forward to it. View Panthers, first game, they'll play Tooele on the 30th, Friday the 30th up there at the Sevier Valley Center. And then they'll play Juab the following night. Coach Eves, Ryan Hopper, Gavin Bateman, and Connor Brooksby, as well as Brock Shaw. Thanks, guys, for coming in. Best of luck the upcoming season, and look forward to seeing you out on the court.
Thank you.
All right, View Panthers, our time is up, but we continue. We've got to take another break. When we come back, we've got another new coach in the region, Coach Meacham, and Snow Canyon will join us next, and then Cedar still to join us, as well as some all-region awards and stuff at the end of the show. Don't go away.
we go.
Yeah.
There we are. Hi, I'm Eric Young.
And I'm Jennifer Kohler.
And this is, we're coming to you right before our show that we go live with Talking Point Live. And we just wanted to tell you to make sure you join us Wednesdays at 9:30, live coming to you from the studios of the CEC here on the campus of Dixie State University.
Yeah, and you can catch the rebroadcast at 9:30 when we're not live, and 12:30 and 4:30 daily, weekly.
Daily? This is like way too much,
Yeah.
I think. But just in case you got something better to do,
Yeah.
there's all those times you can catch it as well. Also, you can catch us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/talkingpointlive and on the CEC YouTube channel. All right, see you there.
We're basically very catchable.
Well, you are.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
Where do you find the titans of classical music in St. George? Classical music on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM. Where do you find the legends of jazz? Evenings on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
There is a place where rocks bleed and nature blushes on a battlefield green with envy, where dimples determine destiny and a tiny wooden T holds the outcome in the balance. There is a place where friends are opponents and opponents are friends, where the prize is elusive, the conquest is captivating, and the score isn't settled till the drinks are down. There is a place.
Radio Dixie 91.3. We don't play that. Nope, not that. A big fat no there. That's what we play. And stuff like that. On St. George's only alternative, Radio Dixie 91.3. Oh, and from 9 till midnight, we play this.
I need a one dance.
And this. Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
Lunchtime, I'm starving.
Yeah, me too. Hey, Carrick, have you heard about the most exciting new thing on campus this semester?
Oh, you must be talking about the new grandstand addition on the east side of Trailblazer Stadium.
No, man, that's actually not what I'm talking about.
Oh, you must be referring to the new Human Performance Center they're building on campus.
Well, that's a good guess, Carrick, but nope, wrong again.
Oh, I know. You mean that this is the first season for Dixie State as a full member in the RMAC?
All those things are really exciting, Carrick, but the most exciting new thing on campus is the new Trailblazer Weekly show every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on CEC TV, the Dixie State Athletics YouTube page, and on Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
You're right. That is more exciting. Trailblazer Weekly, every Wednesday at 3 p.m. beginning on August 29th on CEC TV, Dixie State Athletics YouTube page, and Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool.
To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back, 2018 Region 9 Basketball Media Day. Devin Dixon with you, and it's presented by our friends at Summit Athletic Training Center, our friends at Johnson Pediatric Dentistry, Holbrook Asphalt, as well as Camping World St. George. They got a big Black Friday sale going on, $1,000 off RVs this weekend. I got Andy Griffin, Mike McGarry with us, and now in the building, first-year head coach of the Snow Canyon Warriors, Coach Meacham, and we've got Joey Robertson, Kate Garasoli, as well as Jacob Dunkley. And we'll hear from the players in just a minute, but Coach, we'd like to start with you and kind of introduce yourself to the community. I know a lot of people have heard you're the new coach coming down from American Fork, but tell us about the excitement level, and then tell us about what you've been doing over there to get ready for the season since you took the job.
You know, it's been awesome. I've been coaching over 20 years, 17 years as the head coach at American Fork, and so I haven't known a lot different than where I had been. And so to be able to come down and see something different a little bit, to see and work with different guys has been it's been awesome. I got down here as soon as I found out I was going to be coming down. Got down here on the weekends, and as much as I could to start implementing some skill and just teaching so that we could kind of be a little more prepared. And these guys have been awesome in terms of grasping some new ideas and different ways to do some things, and I couldn't be more proud of these guys, of how they've handled change. You know, change is always sometimes a hard adjustment, but it's part of life, and these guys have been really good about it, and really accepting of things we're trying to do. So more than anything, it's just been, and you know, the other thing I like to do is check the weather here and check the weather up there every day, and that's always been fun every day.
How long were you American Fork?
17 years as the head coach.
Years. So actually, you're talking about them with, dealing with change, but
yeah.
You're the guy after 17 years
Sure.
at the same place of dealing with a lot of change. How has that been in your mind, and how are you putting your stamp on this program?
Yeah, I think, you know, at the end of the day, basketball is basketball. You know, you're coaching a great group of guys, and you can still learn a lot from the game no matter what zip code you're at. And you know, these guys the other day in our Meet the Team night, as we talk about their GPAs, they're about as smart a group of guys, 3.8, 3.9. I mean, it was impressive just with the kind of caliber of kids that we're working with.
Absolutely, that is awesome.
Coach, how does and your sample size, obviously you haven't played a full season down here, but
Yeah.
you had some big-time recruits, some big-time stars go through your program up there. What's your thoughts about this group of Southern Utah basketball players? Because us local guys seem to think it's really on the rise.
Yeah, I really feel like there's not a ton of difference in basketball in terms of 4A, 5A, the level. Sometimes you get into 6A, there may be a little bit more of a difference. But in terms of basketball, you put 5 guys out there, if they work together, you can compete on a lot of different levels. And so that's what I've been more impressed with anything, is that the other teams down here, they're really good. They're coached well, and it's a fun brand of basketball down here.
We like to think we're the only region. All right. No, I'm just, you know, but region, I'm sure you heard a little bit about Region 9. Obviously, excited enough that you would try to get down here.
Yeah.
What have you found? The camaraderie, what's it like for you now as being a part of Region 9?
Yeah, I think as I watched film from games last year, the stands were packed. I mean, the energy was just awesome. And I think even up north a little bit, you have so many different activities and things to attend. Down here, you have some fun high school community basketball, and that's been awesome to see. So really, it's been an easy adjustment in terms of basketball that way.
Snow Canyon's a non-playoff team from last year.
Yeah.
Were you able to, when you looked at film from last year, were you able to put a finger on maybe what the problem was, what they needed to do to get to that next level? Obviously, that's your job now, is to get them there.
Well, I think I've been lucky to add some guys to our staff that have, I always played against Snow Canyon in the past because I knew what we were playing against with Coach Brown and his staff. And so we added some coaches that have been with him to help us with our defense and just some some great things. And that's as good, as lucky a thing that's happened is to add a Coach Jones, Coach Cundy, who are part of winning programs, and Coach Cundy coming off a soccer championship knows how to help and motivate and help kids win.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about how the kids are grasping your philosophy and your playbook.
That's my challenge. Is sometimes I try to give them too much. I think that any coach ever, at the beginning of the year needs to dial it back. But they're intelligent. They're asking the right questions. They really, I feel like I can give them something new every day kind of thing. I really feel like they can grasp those. But they've also been really good about, we got to dig the ditch a little bit. We have to, move some dirt. And they understand that, learning how to catch the ball the right way, learning how to pass the ball the right way, as fundamental as it sounds, they know it's part of winning. And same as defensive positioning and effort, those things are a big deal to winning.
If you had to put a number out there as Snow Canyon, are you going to be up tempo? Are we going to be scoring 65, 70 points a game? Or are we looking about kind of a defensive, slow it down, and every possession is super valuable?
I think we really have some pieces that defensively can give us some opportunities with a little bit more pressure. I think we have some guys that want to guard full court, and I think as well as this big guy goes and his conditioning and that type of thing, we can run the floor, as opportunities present itself.
Obviously, we got Joey Robertson, Cade Garasoli, and Jacob Dunkley here with us. Let's bring those guys in. But before we do that, Coach, tell us about some other guys you didn't bring today that are going to have a huge role on your team.
I think some other guys, Chance Barney is a well-improved player that has played, and he's battling mono, so he's been sick, so we hope to get him back in a week or two. And my own son came down. He's a junior, and he's going to be asked to play a role of sometimes bringing the ball up the floor and sometimes being a shooter. And so his name is McKay. And Joe Ahey is another senior who has really improved. And in terms of defense and buying into being a good role for us, he's another senior who I think will impact this year. And I think we even have some younger players who may get some opportunities, even a Walker Morrison who's a freshman who can really shoot the ball.
I think Dixie has a reason to hate you, don't they? Because you left American Fork, so American Fork took their head coach and their best player, but you did bring your son down to Snow Canyon. But it's kind of interesting how that all worked out, isn't it?
Yeah, we should have just tried to trade houses. It would have been a lot easier.
Snow Canyon Warriors with us here. Let's talk with the players. Let's start with you, Joey. Joey, tell me about the offseason a little bit, getting ready for this year, and from a player's perspective about having a new coach.
Yeah, it was a big change coming from just different coaches, but I feel like having a great coach like Meacham, it makes it a lot easier. It was a lot easier for us to adjust. It's not much us adjusting to him, it's more him adjusting to us, as in he knows what each of our strengths are, and he could see that right off the bat. And he doesn't just, he's not one of those coaches that just makes you do what he wants you to do. He's he knows what we can do and lets us do what we can do. And so that made it a lot easier. I'm curious, when did you guys meet the coach? Was there a meeting when he first got hired back in the spring and baseball season? And then how much has he been involved in your lives over the last 9 months? Yeah, we first met in April, I'd say. Mm-hmm. He came down, he sent me a text, he called me, asked to set up a meeting, so I got a couple of the seniors. We set up a meeting in April, and we met with him for about an hour. And he just kind of laid out the whole offseason, what he wanted to do. And then until he finished teaching up there, we just kind of met on the weekends with him and had practices every Saturday morning or so. And then once he came down here and moved officially, we did a lot more off-season stuff.
Awesome. Kate, what's your role this year? What do you want to do? What do you want to step up as far as working for your team?
So far in the past, my biggest role has probably been defense. I've always been, pretty athletic, and I'm grateful for that. And so yeah, I think my biggest role this year is going to be defense. And I kind of wanted to step up on, offensively and stuff. This offseason, I've been battling with an injury. I had a head injury, and I'm just trying to be patient, and I want to get back in there, but just got to be patient with it. But yeah, so just, my defense has been pretty good in the past, and I just want to, keep working on my offense. And so.
Jacob, a few years ago, there was a star in the region, a kid by the name of Trey Ping, and he had to be good at the three-pointer because his name was Trey, right? Your name is Dunkley. So the natural question has got to be, can you dunk? And if you can, is it any good?
I wish I could say I could, but I'm working on it.
Not yet.
A couple times.
Not yet. All right, that's all right. Do you guys have a dunk champion on the team? I mean, Joey, are you throwing it down?
We just love 2 points. That's
all that matters is it goes through.
Yes.
Okay.
I've had a lot of dunkers before, and I just soon see the thing go in, even from 3.
Okay, but having said that, who dunks?
We don't really have anybody that's going to be dunking in games.
Okay. All right. I had to ask. Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah.
Right? All right.
We asked one of the other coaches about green lights as far as do you let the kids shoot one they want, and he goes, if it goes in, the green light is there. Is that kind of a good philosophy to follow? Or?
I want our players to be confident and take shots when they're there. I think our focus has been really make plays for other guys. We've talked a lot about getting the ball inside, even off the dribble, or whether throwing into, Joey. He demands double teams a lot, and so he's a really good passer out of the post. And so I'd love to play with this guy because I just find that three-point line and find the open space, and he's going to be able to find some.
I think, I'm doing putting the all-region preseason team together. I now have 9 or 10 ballots in, and guess whose name is on every one of them, Joey? So the pressure has got to be there a little bit. You're kind of the reigning big man in the region, a guy who can score, and obviously you're so comfortable around the basket. But what goes with all that in your mind? I mean, is there pressure involved there? Is it just, I'm just playing ball? Or tell me what runs through your mind?
I mean, I try not to let the pressure get to me, but it's all fun for me. I mean, I'm playing now that I'm playing with all the kids that are my age. I've been playing with these guys since I was, I don't know, 3rd grade and on, and it's just this year I feel like it's going to be a lot more fun for me playing with my best friends, and I feel like I don't really feel the pressure.
That's good. Just play some ball, right?
Yeah.
You feel like you've got a rivalry with a certain player in the region, or do you feel like that changes year to year based on kids graduating? Because you've been starting now since you were a youngster, underclassman.
Yeah, it changes year to year for sure. I mean, there's obviously, I don't want to name any names or anything, but there's obviously just certain people that you want to go at more. You know what I mean? They get in your head a little, not in my head, but they just they challenge me a little more. Yeah, that's a good word.
Got about 2 minutes here left with the Snow Canyon Warriors. Coach, tell me a little bit more about the schedule, what you like, what you don't like, what's a big change for you. Different region, lower classification, and I don't know how much you had to do with this whole schedule or not.
Yeah, it's pretty much set. We're fortunate we play a lot of our games at home this preseason. We have this North-South tournament, which is a great opportunity to see the teams from up north. The Walker Classic. I mean, these are playing against teams that is at American Fork at a 6A school. I'd want to come down and have chances to play a Westlake and play, Mountain Crest Ridgeline. And Skyview. These are really good teams that we're going to get tested in preseason, and hopefully we're ready for that. So I feel like preseason for us is going to be a great kind of benchmark for where we're at.
Do you feel like, Joey, that with Coach here, you guys can maybe surprise some people? Do you feel like, nobody will see it coming, so to speak?
I think so for sure, because the past 2 years have been, my sophomore year, we weren't even close. And then last year, I think we were a game out. And this year, I don't think very many people are going to be expecting much from us. And I think that'll help us a lot because there's definitely no pressure, I don't feel like. And I think that we'll have a chance to surprise a lot of people.
How welcoming have the other coaches been, the other administrators for you, Coach?
They've been great. And so I think that's been a cool thing to see the camaraderie even. And, as I came down and was looking at options of coming down here, I met with some of those other coaches, and I thought that, I could have ended up at another place and been just as happy with my own son playing at a rival school. And so it seems like there's a good, feel down here.
We don't know anything about your son. Can you tell us what kind of player he is? Is he a
He's
shooting
got more
guard?
hair than I do. And, a coach's son never does the right thing. And it's, I know he feels a lot of pressure sometimes from his dad because I'll watch extra film with him. But I think he's got some confidence in shooting him. And I think it helps this group. And he's unbelievable with how the guys have accepted him. And so more than anything, that's to me what matters is how do guys accept new teammates, and it's been unbelievable how they've accepted him. So
fantastic to hear. Coach Meacham, new head coach Snow Canyon, Joey Robertson, Cade Garasoli, and Jacob Dunkley, representing all the Warriors Nation and obviously their teammates here at our 2018 Region 9 Basketball Media Day. Best of luck this season, guys. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
First game is Wednesday for the Warriors against Springville. So they got a lot of work to do between now and Wednesday night. We got to take a break. We'll come back. Cedar will join us. And then stay tuned for some all-region preseason awards. It's the Region 9 Media Day live from the CEC TV studios. Don't go away.
Hey guys, how are you today?
Good.
I'm here to talk about how with technology you can make amazing worlds. Come with me. My team and I bring the Halo world to life.
Is that you?
That is me. I wasn't a math genius and I knew nothing about coding. But you guys do. You guys have the power to change things.
I want your job.
I want you to have my job.
Man, where's Carrick? The show's about to start.
Carrick Segmiller approaches his ball after a beautiful approach shot. This ball landed about 12, 13 feet away as he lines up the putt. He'll have this one for birdie.
Hey, have any of you guys seen Carrick?
Are we going that way?
Segmiller eyes his ball as he lines it up. Again, this putt for birdie will win the tournament. He steps to his ball. The putt's on its way. It's got the right speed. It's in! Carrick Segmiller for birdie to win the tournament as the crowd goes wild.
Woo!
He is celebrating. He is ecstatic.
Yeah! Carrick, we got shooting in like 5 minutes. Let's go.
Come on, man. I'm just playing some golf.
Let's go.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
There is a place where the sun doesn't hide in the winter, where the greens stay green and the crimson canyons still glow. There is a place where dimples determine destiny, and a tiny wooden tee holds the outcome in the balance. There is a place where we drive for show, putt for dough, and settle the score with another round. There is a place.
So, I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
People like John McCain and other people would just sit there quietly on the sides, and that many Republican activists would refrain from registering their disapproval in the peanut gallery?
Some might argue that Republican activist is an oxymoron.
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of activism.
All right.
But
We
you
just
see
didn't
what
see
I'm
it.
saying? If you just flip it right over on its head.
I would like to flip it on its head, and in fact, I'm already doing that because my own position is free speech is free speech. Okay, and I'm kind of advocating for something that I'm really not supporting in this respect. As far as protesting or not protesting and being able to recognize your audience, what we need on either side, I don't care where you're coming from, is the ability to recognize the audience.
I'm Ferdinand. You look at me and think big. You think scary. But I'm a little misunderstood. Sorry, I almost killed you. Kids with learning and attention issues are misunderstood too. Take the time to understand. Learn more at understood.org.
Heard about the scarecrow who won an award? He was outstanding in his field.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be earthquake next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
I want to welcome everybody back here to our Region 9 Basketball Media Day for the 2018-2019 season. And thanks to our great sponsors, Johnson Pediatric Dentistry, Holbrook Asphalt, Camping World St. George, as well as the Summit Athletic Club, featuring Cubex, now open on South Bluff Street. I've got Mike McGarry, Andy Griffin with me here, and we've been hanging out all afternoon. And again, I want to remind everybody, if you missed any of the schools, your favorite school, the school your kids go to, we've got all that, and it's going to be all archived. You can go back and watch all of our coverage on sportsradio977.com. But we're not done yet. We got the Cedar Redmen and Coach Beck and a couple players, Dallin Grant, Dallin Peterson, joining us here on set. And Coach, you know the drill. Last year was the new year, but by now you're a veteran in this region, and we want to start with you and talk about the offseason and talk about the kids and bring us up to speed and talk about what you like and what you see from your kids for the upcoming year.
Yeah, we're really excited. I think it's taken us 3 years to really get a collection of basketball players within our program. Year one, we showed up. We had Keenan Nilsson, pure basketball player, put in a lot of work. Outside of that, we just had a lot of multi-sport athletes, and Cedar's been a small enough school for a long enough time that you just showed up the first day of tryouts and rolled it out there, and it's whatever you had. Year two, we saw a little bit of an increase in terms of skill set and being able to dribble, pass, and shoot the basketball, but we made an investment into our future by starting 2 freshmen and a sophomore last year. We think that we're about to see a huge jump in our program. We have the personnel. They've already got their feet wet out there, and we've added depth. I would stack up our sophomore class with any team in the state of Utah. I think that we've got a lot of depth and a lot of talent there. And so Cedar has an opportunity to be very good this year and to be very good for the next 2 or 3 years. So that's really exciting.
As you went through tryouts, cuts, take me through that process. Was it easy? Was it very difficult? For a lot of coaches, they dread that week.
Yeah, in college, we really didn't have tryouts and cuts. We would let a couple kids come try to walk on, and so I was accustomed to that. But, breaking kids' hearts, that's not something that any coach wants to be a part of. And, we had 47 kids try out, which is a great number. We whittled that down to 32 kids, 9th through 12th. And we feel like that's a manageable number. Those kids are going to be able to get some experience at each level, and they will continue to be able to grow the program each year. So, yeah, it was a good process. And, man, we've got great coaches and great players, so they've really bought in. And it wasn't as painful as I thought it was going to be,
I last year, covering them for the different media outlets that I worked for, I kept hearing from other coaches, that Cedar coach is a good coach. Cedar's like you said, investing in the future. Cedar's got a lot of potential. I'm curious what you think, why they would keep saying that to me, and what you think maybe you were doing right last year, that even though you went 1-11 in a region, right, that they saw potential in what you were doing.
I think when you looked at our turnarounds, like the first time we would play a team in region, lose by 15, 16, and then maybe the second time as we'd come around and play them, and we'd lose by 4, 6, or 8. I think that coaches saw us making adjustments. I think that they saw our young players getting better, and that they understood. I mean, I think a lot of coaches in the region looked at our younger players and said, "Man, I wish we had a few of those guys up and coming through our program right now." And some of them do, but we've got a really nice collection of young guys.
I want to talk, before we talk with the players, a little bit about Cottonwood, because Coach Potter was here earlier today, and he said he's got to thank you for getting Cottonwood on his schedule tomorrow, because you're playing them on Wednesday. How big of an advantage? Why did you want the pre-Thanksgiving game?
You know, we kind of felt like we have more basketball players in the program right now that are basketball specific. When I say that we looked around the region in year one, it was like Desert Hills had 13 basketball players and 1 or 2 multi-sport kids, and Dixie, same thing. Pineview, they've got a little bit more multi-sport kids, but with us having as many basketball specific kids as we did, we weren't waiting on a lot of football players to finish their season, and we just wanted to get a game in before Thanksgiving and kind of see where we're at. And you know, Cottonwood's head coach is the brother to our volleyball coach up at Cedar. Contacted us. He wants to come down and spend Thanksgiving with his sister, and they wanted to get 2 games. So, you know, Coach Potter did me a favor by saying yes, but you know, he also did me a favor by playing him the day before so we can watch him.
There you go. There you go. Didn't think about that.
High school basketball being what it is, obviously, it's almost a reload every year. I mean, because you're going to lose some, you bring different kids in, you bring them up. As you look at this, have you had a chance just maybe to kind of sit back for a minute and look at your guys and say, here's what I see that I'm real excited about for Cedar?
Yeah, I mean, being in junior college as long as I was, I mean, it was a big time reload every single year where you're replacing 6 to 10 kids on a roster. And the nice thing, I'm finally in a position where I feel like we're not turning over the roster as much because of all of our young players right now. And obviously with these 2 guys, you know, both these guys as freshmen were kids that we invested in as freshmen, that we put them out there in the fire on the varsity level as freshmen. And it's definitely going to pay dividends for them and for a few of their teammates like, you know, Trayton Tebbs. And so, yeah, we got a nice little nucleus.
I just thought you had to be named Dallin.
Yeah, if your name wasn't Dallin, we weren't bringing you down here. So.
What do you do? Do you call them Grant and Peterson in practice, or they got nicknames, or how do you separate the 2?
I don't know. What do I call him Grant most of the time. I call him Dallin.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
There
Just
you go.
depends.
Let's talk with you guys. Dallin, let's start with you. Just kidding. Dallin, let's start with you. You know, freshman year, playing as many minutes as you did. What were some of the takeaways after you kind of look back on the season? What did you learn the most? What did you focus in the offseason on trying to get better at?
Well, I mean, I just noticed how physical it was, and like I just wanted to get stronger, so I spent some time in the weight room and just like really doing what I have always been doing is just like working on all my skills, trying to have a good all-around game.
What are you rocking in your beats or bows when you're lifting weights? You got a favorite genre of music?
No, not really. I don't know.
You're not a country guy? You're not a rap guy? You're not a rock
say
guy?
classic rock over here. Except for him, he's listening to the new stuff. But I wanted to ask you, I mean, it feels like you might be a senior, you know, just because you're a big guy, you have experience. Can you talk a little bit about the fact that you're actually not that old, and yet you're expected to kind of be one of the leaders on this team?
Yeah, so like, I don't know, last year, like I was able to get a lot of experience, so that helped a lot. And just like, I feel like I probably, on the team, have some of the most experience on the floor at the varsity level. So, yeah, I don't know, just I need to take that and just really help the other guys on the team, like, get into that flow of playing varsity.
So do you feel like you need to be a vocal leader and talk to guys and help them, or do you just kind of lead by playing well and doing what you're supposed to on the court?
A little bit of both. Yeah, just both of those.
You know, to his credit, last year as an incoming freshman, you know, when you're kind of in those open gym settings before the moratorium, this was the kid that was saying, all right, everybody, half court, let's get together and get going. Coach Nilsson, who coaches our girls team, a longtime assistant to Coach Carden on the boys team, was like, never seen that in my life. A freshman gathering the whole program at half court, you know, and he's had a lot of experience. He picked up an offer from the University of Utah this summer. People are taking note of his talent and projecting where he's going to end up with continued hard work, but no, he's a good vocal leader for us too. So.
And isn't it also true that, I mean, just because you're now a sophomore, you're kind of mature in basketball years, right? Because you've probably been playing since you were a little kid in AAU and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've been playing since I was in like third grade pretty seriously with basketball.
Nice.
What went through your mind when you got that offer from Utah? I mean, that's kind of got to be exciting for a young guy that maybe doesn't even have your driver's license yet.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just like really excited and just like really humbled me to like just like keep working and keep going with it, you know. keep getting better.
Let's bring in Dallin Peterson. Dallin, obviously, you guys are going to be connected in a lot of ways, first name being one of them. But what have you spent the offseason on? What have you been trying to improve on the most? What did you and Coach sit down and talk about after the season that you tried to go out and do?
My offseason has mostly been recovery. I tore my ACL in the middle of June, and so my offseason has just been trying to get back, trying to build that strength back and get back on the floor for the season. But I actually got back on the floor today in practice, and it feels good. So
5 months ago, you tore your ACL and you're out playing. That's
It might even be less. You know, obviously, he's been cleared by his doctor, and to his credit, I mean, the physical therapy that he's put in since surgery. He was at SU's elite camp, took a charge on a 6'8", 270-pound behemoth, which you hate as a coach because he's doing the right thing, but just a little bit of a freak injury. But man, this kid has been committed. You know, as shooken up as he was when he had the surgery, and we sat down in his front room. The progress that he's made, man, it's pretty amazing.
How did it feel to get out there on the court today?
Oh, so good. It's been right before I tore my ACL, I broke my hand, so it was the second practice back that I tore my ACL. So it's been a long while since I've been playing, and it feels so good. It makes you just grateful for any basketball you can get. You don't take any minute out there for granted.
Well, I mean, obviously your hand was fine, right? You still able to get some free throws?
Yeah, no, I finished physical therapy after 3 months, and but
just all non-contract.
Yeah, then today was actually the first time I actually got in scrimmage and played a little bit. It felt
he's been doing straight line sprints
Yeah.
for 2 or 3 weeks now. So
mentally, that hurdle, you know, you see these guys like Derrick Rose or Gordon Hayward, you know, get these. Mentally, how do you approach that? Because it's not easy. You don't want to be thinking about the injury. You want to just be free flowing and play the game you love.
That's tough. That was the hardest part. Easily was just the mental battles that I had with myself every day. You know, it's hard. Some days you just look at it and you just want to. And Coach Beck was great, keeping me positive, always making sure I was okay. And he actually said that he said multiple times how this would just be a blessing for me because he said he's always felt like the weakest part of my game's been my mental game, and then for me just to go down with this and have to battle myself mentally every day for the last 5-6 months, he says that will probably be the biggest blessing that could happen to me.
I know you're in the middle of it right now, but do you feel like at some point it's going to be you don't have to think about that knee anymore, or is it always going to be there?
I think eventually you'll get there. Even today I wasn't second guessing myself. It just kind of felt like how it did before. I think lots of times people that come back and re-injure it are the people that are kind of self-conscious and second-guessing themselves. But so I'm just trying to stay confident and just try to play how I know I can.
Let me throw one out to actually both of you real quick here, and that is, I mean, obviously I like to use the old sayings here, the past is to learn from, not live in. In other words, last year was a rough one in the region. What do you do mentally? What do you do to prepare yourself? Do you think about, I'll start with you, Dallin Grant, and then Dallin Peterson here. Do you look at that and use that as a motivator, or is it time to set that aside and say, new year, new group, here we go?
Well, yeah, we learned from it, but I do think that we just kind of put it behind us and just try to look forward and just make this year a better one.
I think it's some of both. You want to put it behind you and not dwell on the past, but at the same time you want to use it to use as motivation so that this year is better. So I mean, when you kind of want to, when you're tired, you want to take a play off, you think back to that game you lost last season, and it's like, well, you can't take any plays off. You always got to work hard.
No question.
Going back to last year, didn't you have some kind of license to shoot or something, Coach Begg? Is that still in effect? Or
we did. It's been, I kind of noticed it was a little bit polarizing at our level. At the college level, you inherit players that most of them are at least decent shooters. And so you can take a decent shooter and make him a good shooter. You can take a good shooter and make him a great shooter. I noticed with some of my kids that weren't even decent shooters that it completely took them out in terms of their feeling like that they could hit an open shot. So I've scaled back on it a little bit, just trying to pump confidence into them. We've just focused defensively. We look back to last year, and we just need to defend and get rebounds and convert on free throws and make layups. And I think that if we'll do those 4 things consistently, and we'll really defend and rebound, that, I mean, the offense, we've got so many weapons now that we haven't had for 2 years. We've got so many guys on the perimeter that can shoot. You know, we've got some length. We've probably got as much height and length as anybody else in the region. So I think that we're in a good spot. And if we'll keep that defensive focus, and I think that we would all agree there's been a huge shift in the program in terms of our defensive focus and our expectations and keeping each other accountable. So.
Knowing you've got size, does that change your play calling on more sets maybe, or do you still want to go out? Yeah, I mean, teams are so reliant on the three-point shot nowadays, but
yeah, and we were really relying on the three-point shot last year. But I think that we have so much versatility. We've not only got size. There's a few other schools that have good height. But with Dallin, I mean, he is as much a perimeter player, can put it on the deck. He creates a lot of matchup problems on the perimeter when they're trying to guard him with their biggest kid. And then if they try to guard him with a quicker kid, then he has the ability to get down under the basket. So we want to play smart. So
the season opens Wednesday against Cottonwood, and then they'll be playing in a Corner Canyon tournament, and then their first region game will be December 19th to get the defending Region 9 champs, Dixie Flyers.
Yeah, so yeah, we're excited. We've scrimmaged them twice in the preseason. We got them once down here, and then they got us once up there. So I think that we kind of know what we're dealing with, what we're up against, and we really like what we have up at Cedar and what's growing up there.
All right, appreciate the time. Coach Beck, Cedar Redmen, Dallin Peterson, Dallin Grant with him representing the Redmen, and we're out of time. Best of luck this season, guys. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
We got to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll do a quick recap. We'll tally up some of the preseason awards, so don't go away. We'll be back in 5 minutes, and that'll give Andy Griffin some time to tabulate. We'll have our preseason MVP and first team all-region announced, and then we'll get some of the guys' thoughts on what we heard today as a region as a whole, so don't go away.
There we are. Hi, I'm Eric Young.
And I'm Jennifer Kohler.
And this is, we're coming to you right before our show that we go live with Talking Point Live. And we just wanted to tell you to make sure you join us Wednesdays at 9:30, live coming to you from the studios of the CEC here on the campus of Dixie State University.
Yeah, you can catch the rebroadcast at 9:30 when we're not live, and 12:30 and 4:30. Daily, weekly.
Daily? This is like way too much,
yeah.
I think. But just in case you got something better to do,
yeah,
there's all those times you can catch it as well. Also, you can catch us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/talkingpointlive and on the CEC YouTube channel. All right, see you there.
We're basically very catchable.
Well, you are.
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun is gonna shine on me. Sun is gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
Where do you find the titans of classical music in St. George? Classical music on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM. Where do you find the legends of jazz? Evenings on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
There is a place where rocks bleed and nature blushes on a battlefield green with envy, where dimples determine destiny and a tiny wooden teeth holds the outcome in the balance. There is a place where friends are opponents and opponents are friends, where the prize is elusive, the conquest is captivating, and the score isn't settled till the drinks are down. There is a place.
Radio Dixie 91.3. We don't play that. Nope, not that. A big fat no there. That's what we play. And stuff like that. On St. George's only alternative, Radio Dixie 91.3. Oh, and from 9 till midnight, we play this.
I need a one dance.
And this. Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
Lunchtime, I'm starving.
Yeah, me too. Hey, Carrick, have you heard about the most exciting new thing on campus this semester?
Oh, you must be talking about the new grandstand addition on the east side of Trailblazer Stadium.
No, man, that's actually not what I'm talking about.
Oh, you must be referring to the new Human Performance Center they're building on campus.
Well, that's a good guess, Carrick, but nope, wrong again.
Oh, I know. You mean that this is the first season for Dixie State as a full member in the RMAC?
All those things are really exciting, Carrick, but the most exciting new thing on campus is the new Trailblazer Weekly show every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on CEC TV, the Dixie State Athletics YouTube page, and on Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
You're right. That is more exciting. Trailblazer Weekly, every Wednesday at 3 p.m. beginning on August 29th on CEC TV, Dixie State Athletics YouTube page, and Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
Welcome back. Devin Dixon, Mike McGarry, Andy Griffin with you. A lot of fun. We've been doing these media days here in Southern Utah for years now, and always appreciate the time and efforts of the coaches, the administrators, and the kids to come represent the school. And Mike, it's always fun to kind of look back now that we've been through 7 teams. We had about 15 minutes with every team. I'm just curious kind of what stood out to you today. I know for me, just the new faces, the new rising stars in the region. There was so many seniors last year. We're going to have a lot of fun because there's a lot of unexpected kids that could really shine this year.
There is. That really came through, I think, in spades, so to speak, because every coach had about the same thing. There's a lot of new guys. I'm learning new things. The kids are coming along. I liked it. And I took some notes. The word chemistry, unity, brotherhood continued to come up. And I think part of it is that's what has to happen. The other part of it is that's what they're looking at right now to get them started because they really haven't been together that much. Now, there are a couple of teams that have done that, but I like what I'm hearing. I really have to say at the end of this day, this is wide open. I think Region 9 is going to be an incredible race this year.
And I'm kind of, the suspense is building for me right now because I'm kind of wondering who's going to be the preseason pick to win Region 9. I don't mind sharing who I voted for, and I voted for the Dixie Flyers. I know Coach Cuff left. I know Tanner Cuff left, but they were 12-0 last year. They built a winning tradition, and I'm big on, giving Tyler Robertson, that core group, on what they accomplished last year, a chance again. So some people might say they don't have the most experience. They don't have hardly anybody that played a lick of varsity minutes. But that's the way I went, Mike. I don't know how this is going to shake up, or if you want to share who you went with, but I don't really know who's going to be the preseason favorite.
Well, I don't think any of us really know exactly who's going to do it, but I think the fun part to me is it can be so many, Devin. And again, I guess I went a little bit more experience and the number of kids coming back. And with that, I think that I'd have to consider Pineview as one of them that we take a look at. Got a lot of the kids that are coming back. Their coach is, 2 years, 3 years now for the coach. So there's a lot of change, and sometimes that change that occurs, which is a Snow Canyon, although I think they're probably going to be farther ahead than they have been. I'm just excited. I'm ready to go. I love these because now I'm ready for some basketball.
Yeah, I don't think it would be a surprise if Dixie, Desert Hills, Pineview, Cedar, Snow Canyon were probably any one of those 5 teams could be the preseason MVP. And Andy Griffin's just finishing up tabulating that. We'll roll that out for you in just a second. Again, want to thank Summit Athletic Club. They're our title sponsor of high school sports here on ESPN Radio. Wanted to give a shout out to them. Also, Holbrook Asphalt. They do our big score all season long. Johnson Pediatric Dentistry has been with us for years. Dr. Cody and his staff. And then Camping World St. George, one of our great local sports sponsors. Those 4 specifically helping us out with the media day again. It's interesting because I think every year it seems like for the last 4 or 5 we've had a new coach, whether it's football, basketball, baseball. We do these media days, And this year, Coach Meacham, I don't know what to expect from Snow Canyon, Mike, but I know if you spent 17 years trying to figure out how to beat Lone Peak every season, you probably come up with some pretty good strategies. And I think a lot of people are going to be excited to see how he does, what kind of style he runs, and what he can do with those Warrior kids.
Well, I think it's a little bit exciting. And I think if you're a Warriors fan, this is going to be a fun year for you because I think the new coach coming down, he does bring with him an incredible pedigree. He's been able to do something like that. I could tell just by the kids he had here, they're buying what he is selling, and I like that. I think Snow Canyon's ready to look ahead. I just expect good stuff. I'll be truthful from Coach Meacham there at Snow Canyon. He'll fit right in, and he said he's been welcomed. It's a great place to be.
Yeah, and Andy, I think asked a good question about Coach Beck. All people asking him, even though they had a rough year, he's building that tradition for the Cedar Redmen, and I've been very impressed with him. But we're blessed with great Region 9 coaches all the way around. I sensed a lot of confidence in Coach Langston, even though he lost the star Jackson last to graduation. You've got a lot of underclassmen, it feels like. As we asked about cuts and tryouts, there's a lot of sophomores that are going to get an opportunity. Even Coach Turley's got 2 or 3 sophomores. They're going to play. Coach Roberts at Dixie, 2 or 3 sophomores. That's unheard of at Dixie High School. They've been keeping 10 seniors like they had last year, and that's why there's not a lot of experience on the varsity level with that group that they've got coming back. So it's going to be a younger region than it has been, and then in 2 years from now, we'll be talking about all the stars we've seen since they were a sophomore.
I agree with you on that. We'll go, oh, yeah, I remember when we didn't know these kids. Here they are, and they're ready to go. So I'm ready for it. I think I'm excited to find out what Andy's tab. You got that ready to go there?
Yeah, I got some numbers for you. The team picked to win Region 9 for 2018-2019 season is the Desert Hills Thunder.
Okay.
63 total points, 3 first place votes. Picked second is Dixie. Picked third is Pineview. Cedar fourth. Snow Canyon fifth. And then Canyon View and Hurricane. So you guys stunned? You surprised? It was kind of weird because I picked Pineview, you picked Dixie. Who'd you have? Pineview too?
I had Pineview, yeah.
Yet it's Desert Hills.
I did have Desert Hills second.
I think that's what got them over the top because they didn't get a lot of first place votes. They got 3, but they got a whole bunch of second and third.
Listen, Mason Chase can play. Trevin Lindstrom can play. Jolly's a big guy that can defend. They've got a sophomore class, and there's a lot of coaches we heard say they like their sophomore class, but Justin Judkins, Peyton Holmes, Walker, I can't remember his last. There's 5 kids that could see significant time, and they're going to swing JV to varsity for Coach Turley. So they're going to be tough, man. But any given night, anybody can beat anybody. I really feel like this year we could see a lot of parity. I don't think anybody's going undefeated this year in Region 9 like we saw the Flyers do last year. I'll put that out there.
I'd agree with you totally on that one. And I know what Coach Turley Desert Hills is going to say. I don't care what you think right now. Tell me what you think at the end of the season, and we'll find out. We need to get some names of some players.
Yeah, let's talk about some names now. The preseason All Region 9 MVP actually is a tie on every ballot was Trevin Lindstrom and Joey Robertson, and I don't think that's a surprise on either one of those guys.
No. The only surprise is maybe that Dallin Grant wasn't, but I know he's only a sophomore, and maybe some of these coaches don't.
Grant was on 9 of the 11 ballots, so pretty close to.
Kid just picked up an offer from the U.
And he's
he
a
must
sophomore.
be sincere. We saw him score it last year.
Yeah, great player. Other first teamers. Let's see, Trevor Farrell from Canyon View, Gavin Bateman from Pineview, Cole Warner from Snow Canyon, who we didn't get to hear from Cole today, but Bryce Thomas is another one from Hurricane, getting a lot of votes.
And then because the Flyers didn't have as many guys with experience, you got guys like Hayden Cottle and Nick Roundy that we think can really play, but they were only on about half the ballots.
Yeah, they got 2, 3, 4 votes, and I think a lot of people like with Hayden Cottle are like, oh, that one guy from Dixie that can shoot. And it's like, we had to help some guys with some names. It's Hayden Cottle, yeah, and I think we're all going to know his name by the end of the season.
Halfway through the season. Let's vote again.
Yeah, it'll change.
Couple of these kids,
couple of new guys we should mention got at least 1 or 2 votes. Taven Shepard from Pineview, move in from Vegas, and Peyton Holmes from Hurricane. 2 guys that we've heard kind of a little bit of buzz about that are going to be good players.
And Hurricane had to move in too.
Yeah. Peyton Holmes, yeah.
No, he's at Desert Hills.
Oh, is he? Okay, wrong guy.
Holmes is a sophomore. He's one of those sophomores for Coach Turley, but I can't remember the name you're looking for.
We'll have it at mid-season.
We'll
I'm
get
just
it.
kidding.
And how many games are we broadcasting, Mike? 45 or
45
something
or
over
so.
the next few months, 2 months?
Make sure and tune in next Friday and Saturday. We'll have a bunch of high school games for you out there from that tournament in Richfield at the Sevier Valley Center. It's a great little tournament, a lot of hospitality, and good basketball games.
Amen.
Let me throw these last few names at you. Kay Garrisoli, TJ Miner, Mason Lyman. These are all guys that are going to be second teamers. Jared Sudweeks, Matt Myers, Haskins, Alex Sampson, Connor Brooksby, Ryan Hopper, Bronx Shaw, Jordan Matthews, let's see, Mason Chase, Hunter Moore. Dallin Brown even got a couple of votes, even though we weren't even sure if he was going to try out for the team.
Thanks, everybody. We got to go. We are out of time. We'll get you back to your CEC programming and back to Sports Center on Sports Radio 97.7, ESPN, and then watch for more of Andy's articles recapping all of the Region 9 awards. That's going to do it for us. Have a great night.